you got a glass, fill it, cause I need it now. Money is a bitch in it, I don't wanna think about it. So if you know the song, sing it, cause I need it now. Take me to a place where the music's loud. I don't wanna think right now. Flashing lights running through the crowd. I don't ever wanna stop. So let's get out, let's get out. I got money in my pocket and I'm about to fucking drop it with you now. With you now. Tear the roof off every building. I know I'll be spending
Jake, your host, per usual, and I'm joined today by the always awesome Nick from Movie Emporium. How you doing, Nick?
As always.
Yeah,
I'm
Nick
good.
per usual. Yeah, Nick as always. He's Nick as always.
Yeah.
I'm Jake sometimes or something like that. Per usual? I don't know. That was actually somebody else.
But yes, indeed, I did shoot my eye out, as you can see from my welt here. So I have been watching A Christmas Story too much. I decided to shoot the side of a house, and it belted back at me. It was a sad day.
You know, that's actually happened to me with a BB gun.
Oh, no shit.
like no shit when I was a kid. And it hit me right about where you're, like, it was kind of in this area. And I had the exact response that Ralphie did in that movie. Because I went around with a BB gun, like, shooting shit in my backyard in the middle of the city and stuff. And one day it popped off and hit me in the face and just kind of, like, grazed me. And I was like, and it immediately popped in my head, I shot my eye out. I thought of that movie immediately. It's like, well. So, yeah, people, it can happen. You'll shoot your eye out, kid. There's some truth there. But anyway, how you doing this fine Saturday, Nick?
Good. As I've said on the Fifth Dimension podcast, I think you and I see each other more than we actually see anybody else in this entire world, and we've actually never met in person. So yeah, it's good.
That is true. We do. I see Nick and probably Nick and Triv almost daily, I feel like. But hey, such is life. Whatever. I don't really see many other people though. I'm just stuck down here in this basement all the time. They let me out every now and then to eat.
There you go.
Bring me food. But
as long as you don't get the hose again.
If I don't rub the lotion on the skin, I'll get the hose again. Anywho, we got a pretty a decent show for you today. I think we got some movie news and a little bit of game stuff, and we got some entertainment news for you. Lots of little itty bitty stories. So today's news bits, I'm gonna try and go through these a bit quicker because there's quite a few little things. They're things I wanted to talk about, but they're not things that there's a lot to talk about. But I still wanted to mention them and say, hey, this thing. So there's that. There's also been some late breaking news or something like that. Actually, I'm just late to the party. It actually came out yesterday afternoon after I'd already put everything together, and I don't do anything Saturday morning. So Nick was kind enough to send it over to me, and I was like, oh, wow, that's like breaking news. No, it was yesterday. It was after I checked all the news sites. But anywho, we'll probably talk about a couple of those things. But I guess we should just go ahead. We don't have any reviews or any trailer reactions or anything like that today. I'm a little behind on that. There was a movie I wanted to review, but I just didn't have time. I had 2 days there at the Thursday and Friday. I was not very productive. I just didn't do a lot. I needed to, but I kept on like finding myself staring at the screen, just like I don't want to do anything. So, not as much production going on there. But I do plan on having some actual movie reviews, traditional movie reviews here in the next few days. You got anything of note? I know you've seen quite a few movies here in the past week or so. Nick, you got anything of note coming up that you can talk about?
I mean, I'm seeing. It was funny when we were recording last night for the next episode of the podcast. I'm like, I can't remember anything. I think I'm seeing "Don't Worry, Darlings" on Monday. It's the only thing I'm seeing. Like I said, I'm moving and stuff like that here soon. But I mean, I watched that David Bowie documentary, "The Moon Age Daydream," yesterday.
I want to see that.
If you're a Bowie fan, and you have an IMAX theater, go fucking see that in the theater because it's amazing and the most aggressive mix I've ever seen for sound in IMAX. But yeah, no, it's a
documentary, right? It's straight up just a documentary.
It's like if you took the mind of David Bowie and threw it on the screen, David Lynch style. I know you don't like David Lynch, but there is a lot of weirdness to it, which is what David Bowie is known for. Is his weird.
I love
He's a
David
very
Bowie,
weird
though, so
musician.
They might cancel.
No, I know you do. I'm not trying to like shit on David Bowie. I'm just saying he was a very strange individual, and this movie reckons with that, his strangeness and how
that's what I mean.
Operated.
Since I'm not a huge David Lynch fan, and it's very Lynchian, but I'm a huge David Bowie fan. Maybe they'll just kind of cancel each other out, and I like it. We'll see. I like the trailer. The trailer looked interesting. So
yeah,
I'm interested in seeing that. All right, well, with that out of the way, ladies and gents, I guess let's not keep you fine people waiting any longer. Before I jump into this, let's see. I see Antonio's here, Fright Films is here, and Caden is here. There's some others that aren't talking, and that's fine. You don't have to talk, but that's who's in the chat. Welcome, gentlemen, and I think no ladies that I see, but welcome. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Hope you guys enjoy the stories we have to talk about. And with that, let's jump right into today's news bits, those little stories of the week that don't quite have enough info to have a full-blown story, but I still wanted to talk about them. And our first one of this fine Saturday would be Patty Jenkins. You know Patty Jenkins, Nick?
I do.
Pretty good director. She's had some hits and she's had some misses, but she made Wonder Woman, and then she also made Wonder Woman 1984.
She sadly made Charlize Theron ugly in a movie, which is impossible to do.
But Monster, didn't she? That's right. Yeah. That's the one that shot her to fame. Well, she was, oddly enough, went back to Disney because she was over at Marvel years and years ago before Wonder Woman, and she was supposed to be making something. I can't remember what it was. Was it Captain Marvel or she was making a?
She was making a Marvel. She was making Thor: The Dark World, actually.
Yes, because she was going to be the first female director.
Yeah.
And conflict of interest, yada yada yada. She left. What happens when a lot of directors leave Marvel? They go over to DC. DC scooped her up and had her make Wonder Woman, which turned out being kind of a big turn for DC, because DC at that time had been known for, hey, your movies are, your DCEU movies are very hit or miss. She came out and made Wonder Woman, and it was pretty much overall lauded. People really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. Had a few issues here or there, but what movie doesn't? So she's been over there. She's been doing the Wonder Woman thing. She's working on Wonder Woman 3 right now. But she went back to Disney, apparently, and was supposed to be making a Star Wars movie called Rogue Squadron. Is it based, or was it going to be based on the video game Rogue Squadron from back in the day? I don't know. But it was a Rogue Squadron Star Wars movie, spin-off movie she was going to be making. It had a release date. I think it was 2023. So they should have been filming right now. And apparently, lots of dates have been released for things, and that one has been removed. Officially, people have been saying, hey, they haven't even started filming this movie yet, and you guys still have it listed up there. It's not officially canceled, but it has been indefinitely, what do they call it, postponed or whatever, put on hold. So they have not shot this movie yet, and it doesn't look good, because there's been some other rumblings about things that are going on behind the scenes. It seems like maybe Patty Jenkins is having some issues with them again, but there's also some scheduling issues. So we might not be getting Rogue Squadron, at least from Patty Jenkins. We don't know. It is on hold indefinitely right now. And a lot of the times when things go on indefinite hold, that just means they never come out. At least not in their current form. So if you were looking forward to Rogue Squadron, I'm sorry. What about you, Nick? You're a big Star Wars. I like Star Wars, but Nick is like kind of more hardcore Star Wars fan. Were you looking forward to this? Does this affect you deeply?
Yeah. I know. I don't know if you read any of the Star Wars books, but Rogue Squadron was one of the best of the series before they threw all that shit out and decided to make whatever Disney decided to make out of it. But the Rogue Squadron books were really good. And Patty Jenkins, I mean, I didn't hate Wonder Woman 88 or 89 or whatever it is.
84.
I know a lot of people 84, whatever. Yeah, Wonder Woman 84, the one with the Pedro Pascal. I didn't hate it like a lot of people did, but I would like to see somebody other than the same 5 people directing a Star Wars property. How many more movies or TV shows are we gonna have with Dave Filoni and fucking Jon Favreau and Deborah Chow and stuff like that? I mean, it would have been cool to see what she could do. She's obviously proven herself in the the CG space. So I mean, even if you didn't set the fucking Rogue Squadron in the era of the Luke Skywalker era, I mean, it still would have been cool. But as we know, Disney is going to Disney, and I think I told you this when we were recording last night, or maybe I told someone else. I told someone else. I'm starting to lose any or all interest in Star Wars. People say Andor is supposed to be really good, but I'm losing interest in it because I'm tired of the fan base, and 2, I haven't found a Star Wars TV series yet that I really enjoyed. Except maybe Mando was fine, but I mean that was good, but once again, The Mandalorian was relying too much on nostalgia than telling its own story. I mean, I don't want to like harp on this too long because I know this is a news bit, but Baby Yoda, I'm like as cute and cuddly and fun. I have a couple of the pop figures as that is. It's just another Baby Yoda. It's just another Yoda. There's no, I don't know. Maybe Ahsoka. I hear Andor. The first 4 episodes of Andor. I heard from reliable people that you and I know say it's really good. So you know what? I'll give it a chance, but I'm really kind of on the outs with Star Wars. I really am. I
get
love what I love, and yeah,
I am.
I'm so
I mean,
frustrated with it. Yeah,
I really like Mandalorian a lot more than I thought I was going to like it. That's done right. That's one of the few Disney Plus shows that I'm like, hey, this is legit. Like all around, like this is a really entertaining show. I like this. I do agree. It has a lot of nostalgia bait in it, but I think that they tell some solid stories, and it's just solidly made. I've enjoyed that. Boba Fett, not so much. As far as Patty Jenkins and Wonder Woman, I'm with you. I didn't hate 84. I
it wasn't good.
didn't love
was
it either. I thought the end of it
yeah.
was. It was way too long, and I thought the end of it was kind of like, this is dumb. But
Yeah.
I didn't hate it, but it was nowhere near as good as the first Wonder Woman. But either way, quick question: do you know? Because there was a game, I think it was actually a series, and it was on GameCube originally called Rogue Squadron, Star Wars Rogue Squadron.
Fucking
Was
love
that
them.
what?
Yeah.
Was it based on those books?
I think it was semi based on it. They had an N64 game too, or a couple of them, but
Yeah.
I think all of it was kind of in the same universe. But when it comes to the games back in the day, even the Rogue Squadron games didn't really have a story. They were just more of like mission based things. You would sometimes hear like what's his face? It's a trap. Whatever his name is, Captain Akbar. Yeah, Admiral Akbar.
I
And
know
sometimes
that.
you would hear.
I got that reference.
Sometimes you would hear like Luke or something like that. Even like I don't know if you played the VR version of Rogue Squadron that came out. Even that didn't really like. It
Oh, you
wasn't
mean
really,
not Rogue
yeah, Rogue
Squadron?
Squadron.
The new the was it called
It
Rogue
was just
Squadron?
called Squadron. It was like Squadrons or something like
Squadrons,
that. But it was a
yeah.
Rogue Squadron.
Star
game,
Wars
yeah, yeah.
Squadrons. I have actually played that. I've actually put off playing it anymore until I get my motion seat because I thought that was pretty cool, and it actually had
Yeah,
story
yeah.
stuff and all that going on, like legit stories.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, to me personally, if they took from the books, I can't remember if those books were the ones that Chewie died in. Chewie dies in one of the series, and I can't remember if it's that one or a different series. But, yeah, no, I mean the video games didn't really have a story. They were just more missions. They were like Call of Duty, where they had missions more than they had the actual story
gotcha.
running through it. Yeah.
Well, if you're a fan of those games, or if you're a fan of the books, or if you were just looking forward to Patty Jenkins' take on Star Wars, unfortunately, it ain't happening anytime soon, if ever. And I'll go on record saying that I don't think it's going to happen. I think will we get a Rogue Squadron movie? Maybe eventually, but I don't think Patty Jenkins is going to be at the helm. I think that ship has sailed, in my opinion. But we'll find out eventually. At some point, I guess, unless it just never happens, and we're just all sitting there and wondering and wondering. All right, so speaking of, lots of release dates have been confirmed, and I'm going to go through a couple of them here, and these are not related whatsoever. There's lots more too, but these are the ones that stuck out to me. Mufasa, which was announced via poster, or pretty much at D23. Is now coming out July 5th, 2024. So it's a ways off. And I didn't know a lot about this. Obviously,
Oh,
if
I
it's
thought we
about
talked
Mufasa.
about it.
What's that?
I thought we talked about how stupid of an idea it is.
Oh, we did. We talked about just based on
Yeah.
what I'm saying is they didn't show anything. So I was like, is this going to be animated? Is it going to be live action? I think you said it is going to be the live action, a prequel to the
Yeah.
live action Lion King that came out in, I think, 2018 or whatever it was. And now it is 100% confirmed. Yes, this is a prequel to that live action Lion King that just went over so well with everybody. Why? It made a lot of money, but I mean, come
Yeah.
on. Disney can't deny that, yeah, while it made a lot of money just based on the fucking name, most people were not into this movie. Why are you making a prequel of it?
Because it made $1.5 billion. Listen, Jacob. Listen, Linda.
listening.
Listen. No. Okay. money means money means all for Disney. Disney doesn't care that another run down the nostalgia trip is coming out that is going to be narrated by Pumbaa and Timon. They don't care. They know it'll make $1 billion. That's all they want. The fact they got Barry Jenkins directing this, like what's his face directing the Meg 2. I don't understand why Barry Jenkins is directing this movie, but you know, if it makes money, I guess. I'm not. I have no interest. Yeah, but they got the guy who directed like Free Fire to direct that one. But
yeah, I'm excited about his take on it. I'm just wondering, are they gonna let it be R-rated? But that's a whole different story.
Yeah. No, I know, but no, like it's like, you know, when they eventually do an Aladdin 2, or when they eventually do, you know, Hunchback of Notre Dame 69 or some shit. I don't care about this shit. I mean, you know, we're gonna see Pinocchio when he becomes a real boy and becomes a Back to Pleasure Island as a sex slave or something.
He's going back to Pleasure Island. Let me tell you a lie, baby. My nose don't grow no more. Wow. Anyway, yeah, Mufasa. It's coming out in July of 2024. If you were looking forward to that, I mean, I don't think it'll go over well, but who knows? It might be great. I mean, you know, it's coming off of something that wasn't so great, but maybe they'll do something with it. Doubt it. Another thing that got an official release date, probably the furthest thing away from a Disney animated movie, would be Magic Mike's Last Dance, which I actually reported on the original announcement of this back on my old show over a year ago. But it is made, it's filmed, it's in the can, and it is now releasing theatrically, not just straight to streaming. It's still going to streaming, but it's releasing theatrically first, a little bit early, on February 10th, 2023, and it will still have Channing Tatum, and also Steven Soderbergh is returning to direct it. So it's going to be a Steven, because for those of you that didn't know, Steven Soderbergh actually directed the first one, and he did not do the second one, but he's coming back for the third one. So Magic Mike fans out there, Nick, I know you're excited about this.
Oh yeah, no. Can we talk honest right now? The first Magic Mike was actually a pretty deep movie, not sexually, but just like mentally too. It wasn't a bad movie. I'm not gonna lie. The second one was not great, but I actually kind of like the first movie, as much as I hate to say it sometimes.
I will say I watched that movie. My wife wanted to watch it, and I watched it, and I was actually surprised that it wasn't a total disaster. It wasn't bad. Yeah. I didn't think it was great, but it had some good stuff in it, and it was entertaining. It was much better and much deeper than I thought it was going to be. So yeah, there was a solid story and movie there. So there's a couple of performances in it and a few things I'm like, this is dumb, but overall it was much better than I ever thought it was going to be. It wasn't quite as exploitative as I thought it was going to be.
It doesn't mean we need a third movie, but Steven Soderbergh has proven to be a pretty decent director.
Yeah,
in his like 45 years of career making or whatever.
Yeah, I still don't know what they're going to do with the third movie, but I mean, at the end of the day, these movies are still, while it's not as exploitative as I thought it was going to be, they are still that. That is what sells them. The opportunity to see Channing Tatum's balls. That's why women go to see it, because that is what it is. Well, women and men, I guess. Yeah, that's what it's about. I think they all know, we're not going to, maybe an ass shot, but every one of them, they're just like, maybe this is the one where we see his cock and balls. That's why they go see it, and hopefully the story is good enough to carry everything else. So, but Magic Mike's Last Dance Part 3, Magic Mike Triple XL, whatever you want to call it, is releasing on February 10th for those of you that are interested. Alrighty, let's talk about some video games real quick. This is a story that hit home for me just a little bit, and it's a PlayStation story. I have recently, I've been collecting video games for a while, but I've recently started deep diving more into the PlayStation side of things. I recently got a PlayStation 4. It's the first one I've ever owned. I know it's a very popular console. Finally jumped into that. And I actually, the day that this story came out, which was yesterday or the day before, I had bought earlier in the week, but I received in the mail a PlayStation VR. I bought a PSVR and a handful of games. I have VR. I'm a big proponent of VR, but I was like, well, let's try out PlayStation VR. It's got a few exclusives. Let's see what's up with it. Well, the day that I received it, ironically enough, do you remember the whole thing about Sony saying, we believe in generations when the PS5 came out? Meaning, we are going to have games, because Microsoft's whole thing was, hey, our games are going to play on the previous generation and on the new generation. We want to just include everybody, and or at least for a while. And Sony said, no, we believe in generations. We will have games that only are on PS5. But then, come to find, everything plays on everything. That was kind of a bullshit statement. I don't think people had so much of an issue with their stuff playing on the previous generation. It was the fact that they made this big deal about how they're so great because they believe in generations, and then they just backtracked that, among many other things. Sony's been making a lot of anti-consumer moves this generation. Everybody's been saying that. Well, here's another one. PSVR 2 has been it's been announced, but they finally are showing it off.
Yeah.
It is nearing time for it to come out next year. It looks like some impressive hardware for what it is. Everything but a price pretty much has been put out there, which is kind of scary. However,
Oh no, it's gonna be $500. Don't worry.
Oh, I'm
$500,
sure.
I guarantee you.
at that point, it's kind of like, why? That was one of its big things, is that, this is, an alternative to PC VR. Now you're going to have a $500 box and a $500 kit to play these games. It's like, there's not much of a difference now. But anyway, well, apparently Sony believes in generations again, because the PSVR 2 will not be backward compatible. In other words, if you have any PSVR 1 or just PSVR games, which I now have quite a few of, they won't work if you decide to get a PSVR 2.
Makes no sense to me. Okay, so
None at all. And their reasoning's pretty stupid too, but go ahead with what you were saying.
well, no, I was gonna say, so I can go get a MetaQuest 2, and then whatever the next MetaQuest is, play the backwards compatible games, but PlayStation's like, nope, we're gonna be so anti-consumer friendly, we're not gonna allow that. No, we're just gonna be stupid cheap. That's why Xbox is winning this generation.
Yep. Well, their reasoning is pretty fucking stupid too, in my opinion. I don't want to harp on this too much, but it is something that is just it's a dumbass. Be straight up. The reason is because they want you to buy more shit. That's why. But
I know that's the
it's
reason.
money.
Yep.
But their reasoning is this: that the PSVR 2 is so technically advanced and has it's such a high-end equipment that to create things for it, you have to it's on another level. You have to use, fuck you, you're full of shit. You're using Windows-based PCs to create every one of these goddamn games. Now, if you told me that you have a PSVR 2 game that will not work or work properly on PSVR 1, I might still call bullshit, but I at least would be like, okay, maybe there's some features within this new headset that the old headset doesn't do, or it won't work on the PS4 or something like that. I get that. But to tell me that you can't take a PS4 game that is VR and put it on more powerful hardware and it won't work is ridiculous. Look at Steam. Like you said, look at Oculus or Meta or whatever. You have games. You can buy a headset, a brand new headset today, Index. The Valve Index, one of the gold standard in headsets at the moment. You can buy that brand new hardware that came out in 2019, I think it was. You can play a game from 2016 that came out on fucking Oculus Quest, not Quest. It was before the Quest even existed. You could play games that came out on the Oculus Rift Dev Kit 1, most basic ass games in the world, and they work on new stuff. There's no VR game that, it was made back then when they didn't have as good a hardware, so now it won't work on this new hardware. You're full of shit. They're full of fucking shit. That is some shitty ass stuff, especially when PSVR's attach rate, it had a good attach rate for VR, but you had these people that are buying this extremely expensive add-on and games that will only work on it. Like, I've got games over there for my PlayStation 4. You cannot play unless you have a headset. There's not like a VR version and a 2D version.
Yeah.
Which
is fine because that's what it's meant for. Yeah.
That's fine. Because, it's the same thing with the Steam games I have and stuff. But now you're telling me that since if I decide I want to upgrade to this new headset within the same ecosystem, these games won't work? That's horseshit. That's anti-consumer because they're fucking their people. Because they know that the people, they're not all of them, but they think, and some of them will, their diehard loyals will just bend over, squirt some lube in that old hole, and just take it raw dog. And that's fucking bullshit. You guys start demanding more. Stop taking this bullshit. This is not the first thing.
But they're too busy. They're too busy sucking the dick of PlayStation to worry about all the shit that they throw. I mean, it's like when you start telling people, oh, it's like when okay, I'm gonna go to Xbox real quick because I'm not trying to shit on Xbox, but it's like when what's his face back when Xbox One was coming out. He's like, hey, look, we have this Xbox 360 that you can play because you can't play Xbox One without an internet connection. So like sometimes these companies, and PlayStation did it with the PlayStation 3 when they priced it at $600 or whatever fucking price
cocky.
they had. Yeah, they get cocky and they make stupid choices, and you have this, as you're probably aware, this gigantic library of PSVR games. Some really good. You have like Moss, and you have like the I don't know, Resident Evil 7 and stuff like that. Why wouldn't you allow? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Resident Evil 7 is awesome in VR. I really want to play Resident Evil 8 in VR, but you have all this shit, all these games, and you can't play them. But oh yeah, you can play like all these other PlayStation 4 games. It feels like you said, anti-consumerism, and it pisses me off. And yeah, I'll still go buy a PSVR too because I really like I like VR, but it's just
I won't.
I don't know.
I mean, I might years and years and years from now on eBay for my quest to collect things, maybe, but I ain't gonna buy one new. I definitely am not going to. I mean, I don't have a PS5, but I don't need a PS5 at the moment. I'll eventually get one probably, but I'm not buying one. Fuck that shit. And I'm with, like, they've been screwing their customers this generation so bad, and it goes back to Xbox did it too. I'm not saying they're better because the Xbox One, they came out the 360 generation just like, yeah, we the big dick now. Fuck yeah. Oh, this is always online, or it does this, it does that. Oh, if you don't want that, we have a console for you. It's called the Xbox 360. Get the fuck on. I was like, damn. But they did the same thing with PS3. They're like, our system is so great that it's going to cost $600 in 2005 or 6. And we have this dumbass controller with it. At least they went back on that. They're just doing the same thing this generation. They are doing the same fucking thing, more or less. Because there's a wealth of stories out there where they've just been doing all kinds of fucking dumbass shit. Every company does it, but damn, they've been doing a lot of it. And this is just another one. And I think that thankfully, I'm more involved in the PC VR community, which I think that's a more flexible community, and that is where there's so many more VR experiences there, thankfully. But there are some experiences on the PlayStation side of things that are exclusive, a few of them. There's not a ton, but there are some exclusive experiences that I would like to experience, but if they show up on that thing, I'm not going to get that. Fuck that shit. I just bought one. I should be able to play. And there's another thing. If you told me I can't play the new games on the old hardware, I'd be like, okay, I get it. There's some differences. I think you can make it work, but that I could at least understand. I'd still be like, I think you could make that work, but okay, whatever. But not to be able to play the old stuff on the new one, shut up. Because you can play them, you can hook your PSVR 1 up to a PS5, and it works. So, the games work on PS5, but they won't work with this headset. Fuck off. That's bullshit. But anyway, let us know in the comments below if you're looking forward to PSVR 2. It is, I mean, it's impressive hardware. I'll give them that. But in the in the VR space, the PC VR space, it's just now getting up to snuff with the PC VR side of things. So people that are like, oh, it's so great. I mean, it's just getting up to their level now. And they're about to come out with new headsets there that by the time this thing comes out, it might be, as far as they're concerned, behind the times again. Because that's what when the first one came out, it was behind everything else when it came out. However, it came out at a cheaper price, and that was their whole thing. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to harp on it too much, but just check out all that stuff. If you're a PSVR user and you are thinking about making the jump, just know everything you got's not going to work. So don't think you're going to be able to upgrade to that. Okie dokie. Speaking of video games and speaking of Sony's competitor, Xbox, apparently Phil Spencer did an interview because they did, on a side note, we talked about Nintendo and Sony last show, how they put out these two, a State of Play and a Direct. And we're like, Microsoft, it's your turn. Well, they put one out too because Tokyo Game Show was going on. And the shows that they did weren't at Tokyo Game Show, but Nintendo and Sony, it was during that week. So that's why all this video game stuff suddenly happened. Well, Microsoft put one out too, and apparently it was solid as well. I saw part of it. I didn't watch all of it. It was in Japanese, a good bit of it. It was like half and half. It was very much like theirs were. It was very Japanese game centric, and a lot of it was about this is coming to Game Pass, this is coming to Game Pass because that's their big push. Lots of Japanese RPGs and stuff like that are coming over to Game Pass. Some things are new, and some things are things that haven't been on their platform before, like Persona 5. I've never played those games. I know they're very popular, though. And some other things that are very Japanese-based. But a lot of people seem excited about it. So it seems like all three companies, for once, put out very solid shows. So good for all of them. Had different focuses, but they all put out solid shows this past week. So, but during the Tokyo Game Show, Phil Spencer was doing an interview, and it came up about acquisitions because, of course, they have a big acquisition going on right now. And he more or less made the comment that we're not done acquiring studios. There will be more, or we're at least still looking. There's going to be more stuff. He pretty much said we'll never be done because in this game, in this business, you can't just stay stagnant. And he also made the assertion that neither is our competition. I mean, people talk about us acquiring stuff all the time. Sony does it as well. Nintendo's probably the only one that doesn't really. They do a few things, they're smaller things, but Sony is acquiring company. They just acquired some not too long ago, a few weeks ago. They're not Activision Blizzard, but they are acquiring large. They got Bungie. They have studios that they're bringing in as well. So he's pretty much saying that this whole acquisition thing, maybe not to the degree of Activision Blizzard, but they are going to continue acquiring things. Is this a surprise to you, Nick?
Nope. It's Microsoft. I'm not surprised about anything.
Yes. I mean, they're playing the game.
We're in a world where two studios are going to own everything at some point.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I mean, Embracer will own everything as well as Tencent, but these other two will own the rest.
Well, that's the thing is Tencent, because Tencent and Sony were specifically said in this article, they, on the video game side of things, are bigger than Microsoft still. Both of those companies individually are bigger than Microsoft in the video game space. So he was like, I mean, I don't see where about even with Call of Duty or Activision Blizzard. He's like, I mean, everybody's giving us a hard time. They are bigger than us. they got more stuff going on. So yeah, we're going to keep on because we have to remain competitive. I think the thing is people just we went 8 years, I guess, last generation with Microsoft just not doing anything. But they were building, everybody kept saying they're building up to next generation. They're building up to next generation. And I guess they were because now they're competing hard and people aren't used to that. And they're like, oh my God. So I love it because it makes everybody make better decisions. Well, I think you'd think so. But Sony doesn't seem to be making good decisions. But it pushes people to make decisions in the end that hopefully will end up being good decisions. But we'll find out. All right. Back to the movie front of things. Scream 6. It's coming. They're making it. I doubt it'll be called Scream 6, but it's going to be the sequel to last year's pretty good, decent hit. It was pretty overall well-liked Scream, which was, I guess, Scream 5. And we also know that Neve Campbell will not be returning for this one. She made it through the last movie. If you haven't seen it, sorry I spoiled that for you, but she made it through the last movie, but she will not be returning for this next one. Had something to do with how much they were offering her compared to others or something, and she was pretty much like, at my age, I don't have to put up with that shit. No. So she's not coming back. It is also another change that we're getting. Apparently, it is going to be leaving Woodsboro. It is not going to be taking place in the town, with the exception of part 2, I think. No. 2 and 3, I guess, didn't take place in Woodsboro. Right?
Yeah.
Because 2 was at college and 3 was in Hollywood.
Yeah, 2... Yeah, 3 wasn't. Yeah.
So I guess it's not totally out of the realm of of normality that this series is going somewhere. It's going to Manhattan. So Ghostface takes Manhattan. Last time we had an iconic horror character go to Manhattan, it didn't turn out too well.
That was
yeah.
That iconic character just started punching people.
Yeah, uppercutting heads off of roofs, but. Yeah. Hopefully this one turns out better. I don't really know how. Scream 5 I thought was fine. I thought it was okay. It was fine. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I liked it more than I disliked it. It was better than it could have been. I'll give it that. It was entertaining enough. I know you liked it a little bit more than I did, Nick. What do you think about this Ghostface going to Manhattan?
I gotta ask, what is it with films moving out of their original area? Like we have Scream moving to New York and Evil Dead apparently taking over a high-rise building. Yeah.
Well, and that's what I was thinking is, they're leaving Woodsboro, but then, like I said, just a moment I had the realization that, well, they've done that before. I mean, they did go to L.A. and they did go to wherever the college took place in part 2. So I guess it's not totally out of the realm of believability here. They came back in 4 and then have been there for the past 2 movies. So I don't know. I guess they're just trying to keep things fresh.
Who's gonna be the killer? I mean, is this where you find out that Nev Campbell was actually brought back in secret and she is actually the killer because she's tired of everyone trying to kill her, so she's gonna try and kill everyone? I mean, it just I enjoy a lot Scream 5, whatever it is. I think it's good. I think it's entertaining. It has a lot of cool, meta commentary, but I don't know if we need another one. We don't have Dewey anymore. We have like half the cast is either gone or dead. So it's like,
yeah. At this point, it's like it's just going to be a whole new cast. I don't know if Courtney Cox is coming back, but
yeah, she's coming back, and fucking Hayden Panettiere is coming back from the 4th film,
but she's
Melissa
kind of one of the new ones too. I mean, do I consider her the original cast? There's one person left that will be in this movie, so it's like,
yeah,
who is?
Then you have Randy's sister is going to be in this one.
Yeah, but who? I mean,
Antonio's saying they should just say Randy never actually died. I'm like, God, that would be the worst thing ever if Randy's actually. Yeah, exactly.
These movies are becoming Saw. They're becoming Saw.
But they're at least a decent. Like, these movies are pretty decent. Like, outside of the 3rd one, which somehow had a cameo of Jay and Silent Bob because Wes Craven is a huge Jay and Silent Bob fan, like that kind of meta commentary. This series has been weird, but I enjoy it. I enjoy at least the first 2 and then this last one. So
I don't see a purpose for this movie, but on the flip side of that, I didn't see a purpose for the 5th one. And then I was like, okay, yeah, that was better than I thought it could have been. I will just have to wait and see. At what point, though, you're on your 6th movie and you're a horror franchise. At what point do you start going down the road of camp? Freddy did it. Jason did it. Everybody, all horror franchises do that. At what point are they going to...
Hasn't Scream always been campy in a way? Like, has it? It's always been a meta campiness to it because it's literally
definitely
about,
meta. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, the first one's kind of campy in the simple fact of, like, it's a bunch of, privileged high schoolers who just can't get over themselves and shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'll agree with the meta side of things, but I don't think it's gone down the road of like camp, like Freddy Krueger did and even Jason did. I'm just wondering because they got to do something else. Because now they don't even have any of the original characters with the exception of one, who probably won't make it, or maybe she will. I don't know. There's no connection. Where is the story going? Ghostface was very central to Sydney's character. Mm-hmm. He existed because of her character, or because of her mom, technically. So it's like, why is he still around? Is it just copy? I don't know. We'll find. I mean, we're gonna find out. Who knows? I mean, they're making it. It's happening, and it's gonna be in New York. Ghostface takes Manhattan. Okay.
Yeah, we'll just go. Honestly, the 2 directors directed Ready or Not. They directed a pretty decent Scream movie. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. This movie may suck, but I'm gonna at least go see it because
I'll reserve judgment until I see it, because I hope everything's good that I see. But if they title it "Ghostface Takes Manhattan," I'm there. I am fucking there.
Yes. Oh my
hated
God.
Jason Takes Manhattan, but I will. If you do that, you're leaning into what you need to lean into.
No, A24, are you listening? Daniels, are you listening? Ghostface Takes Manhattan. That's a perfect A24 movie in the Scream franchise.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, so moving on from there, speaking of horror maestros, Stephen King. He's a guy. He's written some stuff. You may have heard of it. You may have heard of him.
I think he wrote some books.
Yeah,
he may have written some things.
He has his most recent book is not horror, as far as I know. It's called Fairy Tale, and it just came out. But
wasn't he supposed to retire at some point?
He ain't never gonna retire. He's like Steven Soderbergh. We were talking about him earlier. He was supposed to retire, and he's signing like multi-picture deals with studios. But anyway, Stephen King, his new book, Fairy Tale, just came out. Apparently, the film rights were sold prior to the book being released, and it is now getting a film adaptation from Paul Greengrass of the Bourne series. Well, the second, third, and fourth movie. He apparently is very enthusiastic about it, and Paul Greengrass himself went to purchase the rights from Stephen King, which he purchased for $1, which is normal for Stephen King. He does that. He sells his book rights for $1, his film rights for $1, and then takes a hefty chunk of the back end. So we're getting. I have not read Fairy Tale. I love
I
Stephen
didn't even know it was
King. I think
yeah.
he's a fantastic writer. So I think the book, his movies are very hit or miss. Not his, but movies based on his works are very hit or miss.
Yeah.
So I think he's a great writer, but the film adaptations are very. You never know what you're going to get. Paul Greengrass has shown that he's a very competent director. He's had some I'd say more hits than misses. This is not. I do not think that this is a horror movie or horror story. Which Stephen King's made plenty of non-horror stories, but he's just known for horror. So this will be an interesting. I'm trying to think what else he has had. Running Man, it wasn't horror. What other of his non-horror books have been?
Stand By Me, Shawshank Redemption.
Oh yeah, Shawshank Redemption, Stand By Me, Running Man, very loosely.
Yeah,
The
there's
Dark
other
Tower,
things, I'm sure.
but we don't talk about that.
I think The Langoliers was a comedy, if I remember right.
It wasn't supposed to be.
No, I know, I'm kidding.
But no, he
Green
is
Mile.
very much.
Yeah, Antonio says Green Mile is definitely not a horror film.
Oh yeah. Well, okay, so there you go. That proves me wrong. So this isn't the first one or anything, but Paul Greengrass,
Yeah.
he's an interesting candidate for it. He is more known for action or espionage-esque action, but apparently he's all in. He loves this whole fantasy world that Stephen King has created, and he wants to do it. So we're getting that. We do not have any other information beyond the fact that it is greenlit, it is being made, and Paul Greengrass is going to be making it. So it's coming soon. So if you're a Stephen King fan, let us know. If you've read Fairy Tale, which is brand new, let us know. Was it any good? Does it seem like it is ripe for the film adaptation? I'd be curious to know. I really like Stephen King. I just don't know anything about this book. So coming soon. All right, last story of the day, or last story of of news bits rather. Rick and Morty. That's a popular show. The Avengers. That's a popular property as well. There's a new Avengers movie coming out in a few years, I guess, called Kang Dynasty. It's going to be the end, I think, of one of the phases. It's coming. It's already announced.
It's one of those movies.
Yeah. Apparently, Rick and Morty's Jeff Loveness, who is a writer for Rick and Morty, one of the predominant writers, has been contracted to write the Avengers Kang Dynasty, or Avengers Kang Dynasty. Okay. I mean, apparently this is not the first time that Marvel has contracted a Rick and Morty alum to come and write one of their films. There's been other ones that they've had people, especially Doctor Strange. I think the second Doctor Strange had quite a few of them come and do doctoring up the Doctor Strange script.
Well, I mean, the main writer for what was it, Loki, and Doctor Strange, the head writer, worked on Rick and Morty. Michael Waldron.
Well, there you go. I mean, if you like those movies, I don't know if it was Jeff Loveness, or it was not Jeff Loveness, but
No,
I know Rick and Morty's very popular. I don't. Sure, okay, I don't know what to think of this.
it's one of those things where you sit there and go, Marvel has this weird kind of thought logic to them, because they're hiring people like the Russo brothers who did Community, and they're hiring, I don't know, they're hiring just like people out of like the ether and stuff like that, like Nia DaCosta, who directed like Candyman, who's directing the Miss Marvels or whatever. It's just like, okay, sure. I mean, I don't know. It is weird.
I do applaud. I will, and you're not going to get this from me often. I applaud Marvel or Disney for going and finding unorthodox, at first glance at least, unorthodox filmmakers, writers, directors, all that, to do some of these properties and give them an opportunity. I think that's cool. I think that it is a neat.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked with the Russo brothers. They came in, and I mean, no one can deny Infinity War and Endgame's success, and Winter Soldier, and what was the other one? The fight one where they fought at the airport.
Oh, Civil War.
Civil War, yeah. They did that.
Yeah,
Yeah, they did that one too. So you can't deny that that was a good call on that. I mean, then you've got ones like what's her name for the Immortals? Not Immortals, Eternals.
Eternals.
Gemma Chan was the star. Whatever her name was. That one, in my opinion, not so much. Probably not the best fit, but hey, just because someone writes comedy for a living does not mean that they are straight up just a comedy writer. Look at the Joker with what's his name? I
Todd
can't remember.
Phillips.
Yeah,
Phillips.
and the Halloween movie, which I like 2018, but we ain't gonna talk about kills, and we're gonna talk about ends more in a few minutes. But he's made Pineapple Express and stuff like that. So comedians can write other things. It's just I think it's kind of
I'm
like
not saying that, but it's like it's
unorthodox.
yeah. I mean, it's like I don't know, just random director like that was in one genre directing another genre. It's like, okay, sure. It's like Gorilla going from like Killzone to Horizon Horizon Zero Dawn. It's like,
Or
okay,
Playground
cool.
Studios going from Forza Horizon
Oh,
to
yeah.
Fable.
Exactly.
So it can work. Well, we don't know about that one yet, but it can work. Someone who is focused on this particular thing going to something totally different, but it doesn't always work. Hopefully it works here. I don't want any movie, even though I don't have a lot of faith in Disney and Marvel right now, I don't want any movie to suck. I'm hoping they are able to turn that ship around, and maybe bringing on Rick and Morty's Jeff Loveness will help them with that. I am not as familiar. What was that?
I was gonna say, this means we need a Justin Roiland movie or show.
Holy
Can you
shit!
imagine that?
I'm done. Damn it! I froze again.
Oh, you didn't freeze. You're just so excited for that idea.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'm so excited I can't change my face. All right, anyway, yeah, Justin Roiland coming on and doing an Avengers movie, that would be amazing.
Right.
I would love to see that, but I don't know what that would be, but I'd love to see it. But anyway,
Just be him talking to people.
that is what we got for this week's news bits. Those little stories. Some of them went on a little bit longer. I probably could have done a full story on them, like the PSVR 2 thing. But that's this week's news bits, the little stories that didn't warrant their own story, but we still wanted to talk about them. Let us know in the comments below what you guys think about Patty Jenkins not getting her Star Wars movie. Mufasa is coming out in 2024, and it's a prequel to the 2018 live action, quotes. Magic Mike's Last Dance, February 10th. Sony, believing in generations again. Xbox, still going to be buying some shit. Ghostface Takes Manhattan. Paul Greengrass, adapting Stephen King's newest book. And Rick and Morty's Jeff Loveness taking on the Avengers Kang Dynasty. Let us know what you guys thought about all of those and anything you think we should have talked about and possibly missed in the comments below. All right. So now let's jump into our first story of the day, our first big story. Once again, not anything earth-shattering this week, but there were a few of them. This is an interesting story. It has to deal with video games and movies. You put those together, what do you get? Video game movies. This one caught me off guard, and I want to talk about it. Gran Turismo.
Yes, Gran Turismo.
That is that's a video game franchise.
That sure is. Every 10 years you get a new game.
Yeah. Used to be sooner, but yeah, they stretch that time out. It's a video game.
Yeah.
Gran Turismo was the first more modern, if you will, for those of you that don't know, racing game simulator. When I say that, what is that? For those of you that don't play video games, it is a video game that is like steeped in racing. It's no story, no nothing like that. None of the Gran Turismos, as far as I know, have had a story. It's just all about getting a car and winning races. Very, very technical and adjusting cambers and exhaust and turbochargers and superchargers and blower, all that stuff. It's about adding parts to your car. It's a simulation. It's a simulation game. It has been that since the start. It still is till this day. For Gran Turismo 1 and 2, they were just extremely popular. Around 3, they started, they're still popular. It's still popular to this day, but they've had some hiccups. And also they've received some competition from their competition that's, they've been going back and forth with. But it's still a popular franchise. Their last entry had some issues. Still does, from my understanding. And not as, kind of like in the Halo, like with Halo, the game so much isn't bad. It's the way it's handled and some of the things within the game that are just bad decisions being made. Well, in the ever-growing world of video game movies, the last thing I ever thought to hear that we would be getting a video game movie of would be Gran Turismo, because how do you make that a game about a simulation? We're getting it, Gran Turismo. The movie is officially in the works and is going to be directed by Neil Blomkamp, the director of District 9 and Elysium and that bad movie last year or 2 years ago, Demonic, the pandemic movie. Or no, I guess that would have been last year. It is going to be starring David Harbour, Archie Madekwe, and Orlando Bloom, as of now, with a script by Jason Hall, who wrote American Sniper, and Zach Balin, who wrote King Richard, Oscar winner this past year. And based on a true story, the project is described as the ultimate wish fulfillment tale of a teenage Gran Turismo player whose gaming skills won him a series of Nissan competitions to become an actual professional race car driver. Madekwe, Archie Madekwe, is playing the teen. Harbour is on board as the retired driver who teaches him to drive, and Bloom will play a hungry marketing exec who is selling the sport of motor racing and just may believe it's art too. Shooting begins next week in Europe. So
this isn't like Need for Speed where it's like a racing movie. This is about a kid who played too much Gran Turismo and decided he could become a race car driver. Is that what we're leaning towards?
That from what they're saying, yes, that's what it appears to be. It is a true story about a kid who played the video game, and based on his playing of a video game with a controller, they said, you know what, you could drive a car. And that's the story from what we from this snippet that I have here. I mean, that's all I could find on it. So yeah, wish fulfillment. What do you think, Nick? And what's your relationship with Gran Turismo?
I'm not a race car fan. To be fairly honest, it's just not my genre. I have no problems with it. Like, I do play like the Horizon or the Forza Horizon games, the ones that are more Sims.
Yeah.
Then
less Sim, they're more arcade.
Yeah, more
Good
arcade than Sims, and I think those are fun. I don't play them for very long, but I do play them. But you know, I hate to say it, but like it could be an interesting movie. Like I was thinking that they were going full tilt, you know, bringing what's his face from Breaking Bad into this like world where Michael Keaton's like the main host, like it's like gamer or some shit. But this sounds like, you know, it could be like a cool kid film, like, you know, Rookie of the Year style or something like that, where it could just be like a, you know, a cool idea presented on the screen. They don't need to call it fucking Gran Turismo. That's where I get the hang up. It could just be about a kid who got good at playing a video game, like most kids seem to want to do these days because that's the world that we live in, and somehow took those talents into driving. Because I'm gonna be straight with you. I have a friend who has an F1 racing wheel, like an F1 racing kit. You know what this is? Like it's Fanatical or something like that, Fanatics.
Yeah.
And it's fucking lifelike. It is scary how lifelike it is. It feels real. It drives real. And outside of being in an actual car and being in a real life scenario, it plays like a real driving game. And, you know, if this kid had that kind of setup or he has something close to it, it's not like if he's having a controller and all of a sudden he gets behind the wheel of like, you know, a Dodge Charger, whatever the car is in NASCAR. It's not that type of thing. But if he has like a true setup and he just goes, let me try and drive it, and it plays just like how he drives in a video game, you know, it could be a little fantastical and I could have a lot of fun with it. It doesn't mean it's going to be good because Neil Blomkamp has proven that he could put people in like that rap group from South America or South Africa or whatever and make that stupid Chappie movie and make it work. Last movie he made that was good was District 9 or whatever, and I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Like I said, I'll wait for the trailer, but I'm not hating on this. Like I was thinking about it when we first started talking about it. But David Harbour's in it. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and Orlando Bloom. And this kid.
Is Orlando Bloom is he gonna slide down an elephant?
Is he gonna walk on floating bricks and slide down an elephant's trunk? I doubt it. Well, I played the original Gran Turismo and Gran Turismo 2. I am a car guy. I'm not as much as I used to be. I really like cars. I used to work on cars, like not like professionally, but like I enjoy cars and I enjoy souping up cars and stuff like that. And I enjoy those kind of games. Like you said, Gran Turismo, I kind of fell out of that around 3, and I became more of a Forza player, which is the same type of game.
I honestly
simulation.
think Forza's done it better, but I heard this last Gran Turismo is really good. So
Well, in my opinion, Forza is a better game, but I mean, I'm not shitting on Gran Turismo. I have not played them. I heard the last one's had some issues with, once again, the way it's
Yeah.
handled, not the actual game itself. But I don't think that this movie is the Gran Turismo movie, and I think that they're calling it that, using that branding just for that branding,
Yeah.
so that people know.
Yeah.
Oh, this. I think that they should call it something else, because this doesn't sound like a Gran Turismo movie. This seems like this is a weird take, because anybody who knows Gran Turismo is like, what? Why are we? It'd be like making the Forza movie, or I mean, yeah, the Need for Speed movie that they made a few years ago, which actually was better than I expected it to be. It was a fun movie. On the second
well,
time,
I'm glad you liked it.
well, I didn't like it the first time, but I got a review of it. Check that out. I didn't like it the first time, but then upon second viewing, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm down with this. I know what I'm getting now. But you know, it doesn't sound like it's going that route to where it's taking something that has nothing to do with it and just throwing a story into it and calling it that. I mean, they kind of are, but it's not
Well,
going to be.
I mean, yeah.
It is more of a. It says it's the true story. I have not looked into this. I don't know. I guess there was a kid who, and you're probably right. He probably had some like insane setup with a Fanatic wheel, and I mean, I've got that like shifters and stuff like that. He had all that, and maybe that. I don't. I would love it if he was just sitting there with like a PlayStation 2 controller, or PlayStation 1 controller that doesn't even have analog, and like playing the game with like a D-pad, and just like, I want the movie to do that, because it's a movie version.
They put a controller in the car, and that's just how he controls it.
Yeah. Oh my god. No, but I want to see him like in his room playing it, like playing, because I wonder if it's actually going to be the game Gran Turismo, or that movie version of games they show. And he's like playing with the D-pad, and the whole time he's like holding his own, doing this thing that people in movies do when they play games.
Oh,
they
so
don't get into.
it's actually a fever. It could be like a fever dream. So he's actually mimicking everything in the movie.
He's like moving the controller as if it has motion controls or something. Like, yeah, that's what we need. That's what we'll probably get in the movie. But anyway, this was a weird. I don't know. It might be good. I don't know, but it just seems like a weird fit. I mean, I think what's weird about it, not so much the movie, the story itself. I'm like, okay, I could see that, especially if it's based on a true story. But it's odd that they're branding it as Gran Turismo the movie. That's just an odd take. But hey, that's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. Gran Turismo fans out there, what do you think? Are you like super hyped for this? Do you think this is just a perfect fit? I don't know. I'm not saying Gran Turismo the game, if that's the game that this real life kid played and it got him into that, they shouldn't feature it in the movie. But calling it Gran Turismo just seems odd. I don't know. I feel like there's going to be scenes in the movie where he's racing a real car, and it's going to like mix in game footage, like of him playing the game and racing the real car, and this is what did it for him. And please don't do that. Please don't. Please God don't. But Gran Turismo the movie, it's coming. We don't know when, but they are starting to film next week in Europe. So we're getting it somewhere, somehow, from Neil Blomkamp of all people, with David Harbour and some other guy, and Orlando Bloom. So let us know in the comments below what you think of that, and if you think that your sim racing video game skills are good enough for a movie and should make you be a pro race car driver. They're probably not, but let us know if you think they are. Alrighty, so our next story of the day, moving right along. If I could move this, here we go. This is an interesting one. We were gonna do a trailer reaction to this, but the teaser is so short that it's not really worth doing it. But this is a new movie coming out in a franchise that I've not really ever been interested in. I have seen the first one, and that would be, Bring It On. Bring It On has a new movie coming. And you're probably like, what in the hell are you doing talking about Bring It On this show? This does not seem like it's a fit. It usually wouldn't be. But this is an interesting take here, people. Let me tell you. So Bring It On has its 7th entry, I believe it is. Yeah, this is the 7th entry in the Bring It On franchise, the Bring It On saga. For those of you that don't know, Bring It On is a like cheerleading movies. I think they started with Kristen Dunst. Wasn't it Kristen Dunst back in the day?
Yeah, Kirsten Dunst and Gabrielle Union. Actually.
Yeah. Back in the late 90s, or maybe early 2000s. I saw the first one. And then ever since then, they may have been theatrical or video. I don't know. There's been a bunch. There's been 6 more.
Yeah. Yeah. There's one filmed at Universal Studios in Orlando. So that
Okay.
gives you any idea. Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a lot of them. I mean, they're doing something. I can't really say they're huge successes, but somebody's liking them. You don't get 7 movies without people liking them. Well, they said, guys, we're on our 7th entry here. We got to do something different. What are we gonna do? And somebody in the writers' room said, I got it. I know what we're gonna do. The 7th installment in the Bring It On franchise, titled Bring It On, Cheer or Die, will feature a change in pace, a slasher horror movie setting. So yeah, the Bring It On series, which is known for being like a kitschy kind of like high school,
Yeah. It was
Cheerleading
2000s Clueless, as I put.
is now going to be a slasher horror movie. Apparently, the fight for survival starts after a cheer squad decides to practice secretly in an abandoned school on Halloween night with their devil mascot in tow. The cheerleading is taken over by the killing when the teammates start disappearing one by one. They still have to practice, though. A new teaser's released. I did see it. It's very short, but it shows a little bit. Gives you an idea of what's going on there. The teaser suggests that the movie won't let go of its comedy roots, and the upcoming title will lean on dark humor. Yes, it does. The film from director Karen Lamb is set to premiere on October 8th. I don't know where. It said sci-fi.
Probably Peacock.
So I don't,
it is sci-fi. Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
I don't know if it's a sci-fi channel premiere or if it's premiering on another. I don't know. They didn't say where it's premiering. It may be premiering on sci-fi, but yeah. So Bring It On is bringing on the horror comedy, and based on the trailer, the teaser trailer I saw, it was just that. It looked like a horror comedy. Like it's got very like slasher vibes. There's a slasher out there. I think the slasher was dressed as their mascot, and it's killing these people off, these cheerleaders, and it was not like light comedy. It was very heavily leaning into the comedy. I hope it's super violent. That's what they need to do. Because the trailer, is cutting away from a lot of stuff, but it's very, it's using comedy. I've not been interested in seeing a Bring It On movie since, before they came out. And I gotta say, I am at least interested. I'm curious to see what this is about. This is actually on my radar a little bit. Can't say I'm like, this is my most anticipated movie. It's not even on the list. But I am interested enough on October 8th to like say, let's take a look at that Bring It On movie. Let's at least give it 10 minutes and see how it does. Might be terrible. I don't know. What about you, Nick? Are you a Bring It On fan? And if so, are you looking forward to this?
The first Bring It On was actually directed by the director of Ant-Man, just to give you a heads up. So that makes you...
I remember, in all jokes aside, I remember the first Bring It On being fine. It was a cute little movie. It wasn't for me, but it was fine. Yeah. It was entertaining enough. I didn't think we'd get 7 of them.
No. Okay, here's how I look at it. You remember American Pie and like the 4,000 sequels that it had nothing to do with the actual franchise, the American Pie franchise. That's kind of like what Bring It On has done. It's become that series that has basically just put out schlock after schlock after schlock. And a horror film, as well as I do, that this is going to be shit. It's probably going to be really bad. But as we've seen with horror films in the past that have like many sequels, sometimes those shitty schlocky films in that sequel franchise or whatever are entertaining at least, and they have fun, and
especially
they not sci-fi. Sci-fi had fucking Battlestar Galactica and Warehouse 13 and shit like that. So
Sharknado.
I'm not saying the fact there's a Bring It On movie that's a horror film that's on sci-fi is a little weird. This should be like a Shudder movie or something like that. But I don't know. It's one of those movies you find like on a Friday at Blockbuster. Go, oh, there's a Bring It On movie. I guess I'll watch it and rent it. And there's like 3 copies or whatever. But I don't know. The movie's probably gonna suck, but maybe it's entertaining. That's kind of where
maybe it'll suck in a good way. Maybe it'll still be fun. Maybe this will spawn a whole new genre of taking these movies. Next, we'll get Drumline, Drum or Die.
Maybe Saw will turn into a comedy.
Yeah,
Saw to the heart.
I don't know. Maybe we'll.
Yeah.
I am curious. I'm curious to see what this is all about. I do suggest go check out the trailer over on YouTube for not Drumline. Bring It On, Cheer or Die. Like I said, it is fairly short, but it gives you an idea of like the tone of the film, and it is it's a comedic movie, but it is horror. I'm curious as how graphic will the horror be. It's on Sci-Fi, but Sci-Fi has shown graphic things before. I need it to be like super bloody, and still have that horror, and I think that would work. We'll see. We'll find out on October 8th. I will. Whether I'll review this, whether I'll watch the whole thing, I don't know. But I'll give it 10 minutes, and then we'll see where we go from there. On October 8th, I will definitely see what they have on offer. But Bring It On. Cheer or Die. Are you looking forward to this? Is this something that this is the one? This is what I've been looking forward to all these years? Let us know in the comments below. Are you a Bring It On fan? Is this this is definitely a weird turn. But you know what? Maybe it's what they needed to do to keep this franchise going. And there's 7 movies in. I'm sure they had to do something to change it up. So let us know in the comments below if you are looking forward to this movie. Okie dokie. On to something else. Speaking of something that's been around for a long time and it's getting something new. Blade Runner 2099. Not 2049 and not whatever original Blade Runner was. And there was an animated one too. I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, Blade Runner, Black Lotus.
Oh, okay. It wasn't a year that it was attached yet, but Blade Runner 2099 is getting a limited series. Amazon Studios has given the green light for the limited series titled Blade Runner 2099 to air exclusively on Prime Video. Ridley Scott will serve as an executive producer alongside showrunner Silka Luisa. Probably butchered that. The original Blade Runner, directed by Ridley Scott, is considered one of the greatest and most influential science fiction movies of all time, and we're excited to introduce Blade Runner 2099 to our global Prime Video customers. We are honored to be able to present the continuation of the Blade Runner franchise, and are confident that by teaming up with Ridley, Alcon Entertainment, Scott Free Productions, and the remarkably talented Silka Luisa, Blade Runner 2099 will uphold the intellect, themes, and spirit of its film predecessors. No release date as of yet has been given. Now, it may be not a shock, but I haven't really spoken about Blade Runner much on my channel because the last Blade Runner 2049 came out in 2017 is before I was doing YouTube, but I love Blade Runner 2049. I thought that was a fan-fucking-tastic film, quite possibly the best film to come out in 2017. I fell in love with every aspect of that movie. Blade Runner 1980 or 81, Ridley Scott's Blade Runner, I'm not in love with. I don't hate it, and over the years, I have grown to appreciate it even more. I've always appreciated its visual aesthetic and what it gave to the genre of sci-fi, because it definitely added to that genre and pioneered a lot of things. The story, I just really wasn't that into for a long time. As I got older and as times went on and I saw, all the 52 different versions of it, I did appreciate it more, and I do like it more now than I did years ago. But 2049 is my shit. That's the one. So I'm excited about this. I've not seen Edge Run, or not Edge Run, that's Cyberpunk, whatever the animated thing was. But I am looking forward to seeing this, and the thing that I am most excited about this of everything is that it is a limited series. It is not just an indefinite, opened-up series. It is a limited series, meaning that it will have an end. It will have, hey, we're going to have 6, 7, 8, however many episodes. It's like a mini-series. That's what limited series is now. They're going to have episodes. They're going to be long, and then it will end. It's going to have a beginning, middle, and end, and I love that. I'm happy to hear that because that means they have a story they want to tell, and it's just too big for a movie, and I am on board for that. Ridley Scott being back, honestly, if you'd said that 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, I would have been like, hell yeah. Now I'm like, maybe, because Ridley Scott is kind of like hit or miss. He puts out some fantastic movies now, such as The Last Duel and other things. But he also, has Alien Covenant, which was okay. But he has not been a part of Blade Runner for a long time. He made that movie, 40 years ago. I don't know what him being involved really adds to it. He's a great director, but like I said, not everything's perfect he has. I would have much rather, I'm okay with Ridley Scott being there, but if they had said Denis Villeneuve, who directed 2049, was involved, I would have been over the fucking moon with this. But I am looking forward to this. What about you, Nick? What's your relationship with Blade Runner? Are you looking forward to 2049 or 2099?
This is a hot take, and I know you probably won't enjoy this, but I absolutely do not like the Blade Runner franchise. I love Denis Villeneuve. I think he's probably one of the best directors working today. It was very difficult to get through that movie for me. I felt like it was a slog. I felt like it was boring. Bringing Harrison Ford back was fine, but the whole kind of conclusion to his arc in that really pissed me off.
So everyone, I want to announce that I am looking for a co-host here on the show. So if you're interested, just send all of your resumes to. No, that's fine. That's fine.
But
it's
I
not
make
for
the
everybody.
same.
I totally get that.
I make the same thing about what was that film, the Quentin Tarantino film that I can't remember the name of anymore. Pulp Fiction.
Hey, oh yeah.
I said yeah. I'm not a fan of Pulp Fiction, but it's cool that people have Blade Runner to keep going because it's a movie that was way ahead of its time in the original, which like I said, I'm not a fan of. It's just not my cup of tea. But the fact that it has a sequel that is revered as probably better than the original is even better. And having a limited series, as we're learning, I don't know if you've seen this recently, but as we're learning from the Lord of the Rings, the Ring of Power, the last episode got like a 6 out of 10 on
Ooh, I
a
haven't
lot of
seen it
people's. Yeah. So
Not the last episode.
doing a
I've seen the
limited,
others.
right? But doing a limited series of it, doing like 6 or 7, maybe 8 episodes, could work. I think it could be fine. Black Lotus, I really wasn't a fan of because it's just, it's like watching Cyberpunk Edge Runners. I watched half that series and I was like, this isn't for me. It's too much. And that was the same thing with, I felt Blade Runner, Black Lotus didn't really have a great story. It didn't really feel like it was going anywhere. So,
And that's what I like about the limited series side of things is it's not just open ended and just we don't know how long this is going to go on. They have a very specific story they want to tell that apparently was too big to make a movie for, I assume, on Amazon or theatrically. So I think it's cool that they said, well, we just want to make it. They have a roadmap. I would assume they have a roadmap for where this story is going to go. See Star Wars if you want to know what not having a roadmap for something can do to your franchise. But that's what I'm excited about, is that whether the story will be good or not is up in the air. But that at least that they have a story, a beginning, middle, and end already in mind, and they want to tell that story. That's what I like about limited series. But I get it.
Yeah.
Like I said, Blade Runner, the original, was not my thing for a long time. It was one of those movies I wanted to like because I love the aesthetic and the world, but the story just didn't do it for me. The characters, all that stuff, I just didn't care for.
It's a movie with it's one of those books that is almost unfilmable, but it's just a movie that's very convoluted that has some interesting ideas about post-apocalyptic whatever world and very grungy and dirty and disgusting and has
It
these
created
guys
cyberpunk more or less.
Well, yeah, it's one of the early bases for cyberpunk and it's mythology and stuff like that. That's what Philip K. Dick was known for, is those types of stories. But I don't know. I always felt like I was missing something. Like there was something that I didn't understand about it. And people go, "Oh, that means you're not a film fan." I'm like, no. I mean, I could say the same thing about.
You didn't care for it. There's nothing wrong with that.
That would be like me saying, "Oh, you didn't like Lawrence of Arabia. You're not a film fan." No. So
some things just aren't for some people, and that is something I've heard about Blade Runner. Blade Runner is kind of like Citizen Kane in that way, the original Blade Runner, where if you don't like it, oh, well, you're not a real film fan. Something's wrong with you. Fuck you. Yes, I am. I don't. Just because I don't like a certain movie, it doesn't speak to me. It doesn't mean I'm not a film fan or I don't understand film or I'm not cultured. Shut up. What it means is you're a pretentious douche. Not you, but people that say that. But people have their own likes and dislikes, and I'm not going to like something because everybody else did. I fully admit I did not like Blade Runner for the better part of my life. It wasn't until later, more recently in the grand scheme of things, the past decade, that I actually started to appreciate Blade Runner a little bit better. And I still acknowledge that this movie's got issues, story-wise. It's not perfect. Now, 2049, I will say, I loved that movie. I thought it was fantastic. Something about it just really hit with me. And I didn't think it would because of the way I felt like the first one. What was that?
Yeah. I said it's gorgeous to look at, and it does have Ana de Armas in it, so I can go with that. Mackenzie Davis in a movie together. That's perfectly all right
Dave
for me.
Bautista? Ryan Reynolds. I mean, not Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that. I am excited about. Quite honestly, if Blade Runner 2049 had not come out, I probably wouldn't be as excited about this show. I'd just be like, okay, we'll see what happens. But now, I mean, seeing as how 2049 came out, and it is pretty, like you said, a lot of people consider it better than the original. I'm hoping that this show takes on more of that aesthetic and feel. So, but we'll find out. It's coming sometime. No release date. Nothing's been shot. Nothing's been made. It is greenlit and it is happening, but we don't know when it's coming out. I'm sure that it is going to be a big production, so it's probably a ways off. Probably a good 2 years before we see this thing. But it's coming, and if you're a fan of Blade Runner, I mean, hell, fans of Blade Runner had to wait almost 40 years to get a sequel to it, so year or two more, I think we can do that. Let us know in the comments below if you're a Blade Runner fan, if you're looking forward to this new limited series, how you feel about the original Blade Runner versus 2049 versus this series, or just Blade Runner as a whole. What do you think? And are we just two talentless hacks that don't know anything about film because we don't think the original
I'll
Blade
take
Runner
that.
was amazing? I'm sure there's somebody out there that thinks that, but let us know in the comments below. Okie doke. Excuse me. Moving on to our next story. Now, this is one that I think Nick is going to have a lot to say about, and we're going to talk about Halloween. More specifically, Halloween Ends. And
Why are you doing this to me? Where's my fucking? Where's the Pac-Man at? No, I'm kidding.
This is honestly, you were probably the reason I'm talking about this.
Yeah.
Now, before I jump into this, I'll go ahead and go on record and say that, or I have gone on record and said, I have a checkered past with the Halloween franchise for a long time. Never hated it, but I was not the biggest fan of the original John Carpenter Halloween. Love John Carpenter. He's made some of my favorite films ever. Halloween just didn't do it for me. Once again, as I got older, viewed it a few more times, I appreciated it more. I always appreciated for what it gave to the genre, but the film itself just was kind of like, it's fine, whatever. I appreciate it more now. I do enjoy the movie a lot more now. 2018 remake, or not remake, what do they call those? Redo, or the sequel, the 2018 version.
Yeah.
That they came out with that retcons a lot of the other movies that came out. I really liked that movie. I liked it a lot more than I ever expected to. Halloween Kills, the 2018 sequel that came out this past year. Didn't like it. It did a lot of things. I've said it plenty of times. If you want to know my view on that, look at a lot of other videos plus a review of that movie and I'll tell you what I thought of it. Didn't care for it. Well, they have a third one, fourth one, depending on how you look at it. A sequel to Kills coming out. Halloween Ends is coming out this year. It'll be out in October.
It comes out in less than a month, actually.
Yeah.
It's weird. Can I say this real quick? It's weird that it's coming out less than a month and it doesn't feel like that we've gotten much on it. Does that feel weird to you?
Yeah, but I think that they're trying to keep things under wraps. I think they're
after
trying
Halloween
to keep
Kills,
keep it a secret because this is like the big end thing, and we're actually going to talk about that right now. Some of the things that might be going on because some details are emerging. Now, there's lots of things that have been said about this sequel, unsubstantiated and otherwise. So it's you gotta stick with us here.
John Carpenter has the score listing
what's real,
already
what's
out for
not.
it. Yeah.
So Jamie Lee Curtis, they're starting to ramp up, talking about this movie more. She was doing some interviews, and apparently, according to her, Halloween Ends will begin 4 years later. We did know that there was going to be a time jump after Halloween Kills, when Laurie, which is Jamie Lee Curtis's character, has managed to pull her life back together. Laurie, now more content, is ill-prepared to face off against Michael Myers. Curtis said Laurie doesn't see Michael coming, and that's a very different result. So the fight with Michael is much more violent, unexpected, and has to be like a street brawl. This movie, in this movie, another character comes in that she's concerned about, but she's not thinking about Michael. And then Michael comes back, and so the fight was an unexpected fight. The other character is likely, this is not her words, this is other people, I guess, speculating, or then I hear it's confirmed, I don't know. The other character is likely Corey Cunningham, played by Rowan Campbell, a new character in the Halloween lore who is accused of killing a young boy he was babysitting. The babysitter murder will trigger Laurie's trauma, and Laurie will no doubt become focused on him. Also, some have claimed that there will be a copycat killer as well. And this is something I had heard quite a while back, like last year, around when Kills came out, and we were talking about this one and what was going to happen. That was one of the things they were saying. I think it was when the trailer for this originally came out, that's not Michael, that it's someone else in the mask, possibly. I don't know. Okay, so being me, myself, I look at this stuff and I'm like, what? This is supposed to be the big epic showdown that they've been building to for 1, 2, 3 movies in this fourth one, if you disregard the other sequels. Why are they... I mean, they're adding in other characters now and all this, and why would she not be concerned? In the end... Spoiler alert for the last movie if you hadn't seen it, by the way. In the end of the last movie, Michael kills her daughter, just slaughtered like half the fucking town, and became supernatural. And that was the end of the movie. So... she's not concerned with him. She was concerned with him for 40 fucking years. And now she just said, fuck it. He's out there. He killed my loved ones and a bunch of other people. Didn't get caught. We'll let that go. So she just totally like pulls away from that. And now she's concerned with this other person who may be a babysitting killer or something. And then this might not even be oh my God. I don't have a lot of faith in this movie based on the last movie. What do you think? Because you've also probably heard a bit more about this than I have.
Well,
so give us your side.
I will say there is a track list for the score out there, and I will say that maybe some of the stuff you're saying may be true or not. I won't validify that. I'm just telling you that if any of this is true, I'm not gonna be happy because. One, I know you were somewhat of a fan of the 2018 Halloween. You thought it was, a little bit better than like the John Carpenter or whatever. That's fine. It's not. In retrospective, it's fine. It's a fine movie for what it is. But we're at a point now where I don't even know if Danny McBride and David Gordon Green even know what they're even directing anymore. Like, if this is true, they're actually going into territory that Friday the 13th did at one point. I don't know if you remember, there was a movie where one of the kids became Jason at the end of the movie or the beginning of the movie or something. He was having
Corey
nightmares
Haim,
or some shit.
I mean, Corey Feldman. He kind of it ends with him looking all crazy, and then it's either the next movie or the one after that. You think he's Jason. He doesn't actually become Jason, but like you think he's going. They played with that. No, he did. He did.
He wears the mask. Yeah, he actually he puts on the mask and is the one killing people. I think it's right before they brought back Jason when they like resurrected him through the lightning storm or whatever.
Well, he never actually did. He did at the end of one of the movies. It wasn't the third one. It was the fourth one, I think. In the hospital, he became Jason, if you will, not through supernatural means, but just kind of like through his mental fuckery. But then the next movie, it was like they sorted all that out. They said, "Oh, he sorted it out. He didn't actually go kill anybody. I think he may have killed somebody. I can't remember. It's been a while, but
nightmares. It's so convoluted.
That was a thing.
Friday the 13th. Yeah. I love John Carpenter. I love him a lot, but his not giving a shit about his franchises. I don't know if we read this quote or you read this quote. He literally says, "They pay me. I take the money. I don't give a shit what they do. I create some of the music for it." He literally does not care.
Yeah, now
and that's the sign. Yeah, now he just plays
80.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, he's not protective of his stuff at all, and he just wants to go and play Call of Duty or whatever he does in his daily life, smoke weed, which is fine. He has the right to do that kind of shit. But this just proves once again, if this is true, and I watch this movie and I find this out and this being true, that is just. The whole movie is based around a clone, or not clone, but another different version of Michael Myers or whatever. The rant that I'm going to go on for my review is going to be epic. It really is. I might actually scare my roommates of how pissed I'm going to be because they already pissed me off. And I know, Fright, you said you were a fan of Halloween Kills. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but Halloween Kills was a disgusting travesty of a franchise that already was a disgusting travesty to begin with, some of the films in that franchise. But what
Hey, evil dies.
I'm going to start doing Pinocchio here in a second. I'm going to give Pinocchio the benefit of the doubt now because of this shit. not really, but I don't even know what to say. Like I read the trailer, the score list, and there's some things that I was expecting, but if this is true and this is what is going to happen,
Yeah, I don't have a lot of faith in
I'm
this
going
movie.
to be mad. I really am. I'm already mad with the David Gordon Green and Danny McBride, who are talented directors and writers because they do better than I can ever
Yeah.
do. But yeah, evil,
I'm-
evil cleanse tonight. You know that type of
Evil
shit.
bathes tonight.
Yeah.
And I'm really what disappoints me the most. I know there's fans of the franchise who've been around for a long time, so they have a lot more to be disappointed than me. But what disappoints me is that I did go all those years of thinking Halloween was just kind of, it's fine, it's what it is. I started to get more of an appreciation of it, and then 2018 came out, and I really liked that one, and that made me like the original even more. So all of a sudden, I was a Halloween fan, and I was like, yeah, I'm on board with this shit. It's awesome. Halloween Kills comes out, and I'm like, oh, what? Come on. And I just wasn't a fan of it. And I mean, if you are a fan of it, that's fine. You know, different folks, different strokes. But I didn't like where that movie went. And this one just seems like I don't know what the fuck they're doing. And maybe it'll come out and it'll make up for it. Maybe it'll come out and it'll be awesome. I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in it because they kind of burned me last time, in my opinion. There was a lot of things in that movie I just could not get behind, and I was just like, I don't like where they're going here. What I'm hearing about this, it just seems so convoluted and all over the place.
It just seems lazy.
You're
It
supposed
really
to be
does.
having an epic ending battle. That's what it's supposed to be. Their epic end to this thing. Just let it be that. Let it be a fucking fight movie the whole damn time. A survival movie. Like we were watching. Nick and I reviewed an episode of something the other last night, and we were talking about. That's what most of this thing that we were reviewing was just this woman surviving, trying to fight, and it was riveting, if you will. Not to coin a term, but just do that. Have them fighting the whole damn time. That's what we
Can
want.
I tell you? Can I tell you something? I was there was a quote that David Gordon Green made about something about Halloween Ends, and I can't find the quote, but I found something else that might interest you. So, in an interview with Empire Magazine in the October 2022 issue, David Gordon Green cited the 1980 comedy My Bodyguard as one of the three primary films he revisited before making Halloween Ends. The other was Christine, and the other was Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker, which I have not seen.
I knew about
directed-
Christine because he apparently sent either the film or the script over to John Carpenter, and it's got tons of references to John Carpenter's work. Christine being one of them. Cunningham,
Which-
the last name of this
Yeah.
babysitter killer, is the last name of
Oh,
the
yeah,
boy
yeah.
Christine. The boy, I can't remember his name.
Archie Cunningham.
Yeah, that's his last name.
But can I ask you this question? Have you seen My Bodyguard?
I have. I don't remember. I know the name, but I don't remember. anything
It
about
had that crazy Adam. Fuck, I forget his last name. He was of course in Firefly and stuff like that.
Adam Baldwin.
Adam Baldwin.
Oh
thank you.
yes, I know what you're talking about. I know. what
Yeah,
movie
the one with
yeah,
the
yeah.
kid who hires like this older kid. Basically has
Yep,
God,
I know
who
what
else
movie you're
is
talking
it?
about exactly.
Yeah. But I go and sit here and I'm like, so your inspiration was fucking My Bodyguard? Like that is the weirdest choice for an inspiration. Does that mean like Michael Myers is going to be like the older? Oh my god, dude, this is
They're gonna start
if My
working
Bodyguard
together.
is an inspiration, then Michael Myers is a inspiration in working with this young kid. Oh fuck!
It's
this
just
shit.
looking worse
Fuck
and worse.
This shit. Oh my god! That the fact that he because I was like, because it says like he is inspired by a teen comedy of the '80s, like untraditional. It's not a teen comedy; it's a drama. And if he had said like, "Oh, it's inspired by I don't know, Better Off Dead" or something like that, or One Crazy Summer, okay, cool. You know, there's some weird shit in this Halloween franchise to begin with, so fuck it, whatever. But My Bodyguard, that's like saying, you know, I don't know, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is inspired by Barry Lyndon or Lolita or some shit. It's like,
I'd watch
what the fuck?
Yeah, I it just seems so all over the place. I'm just not, and also now some of that probably comes from I do know that the original story and screenplay for this movie apparently was totally changed, or a lot of it. There wasn't supposed to be a 4-year jump originally, and they added that in, and they changed a lot of stuff. around the time Kills was coming out, or when right before it came out, or they decided last minute, oh, let's change some things. I don't know, man. I don't have a lot of faith in this. I hope it's good. I do. But I'm not. It's not looking good.
That's a best case scenario.
In my opinion, it's not looking good. But I mean, we're gonna find out soon, because this thing's coming out at the end of this month, right? 28th or something like that of September.
October 13th. Yeah.
Yeah, Peacock. Is it October?
It's on the cock. Yeah, it's gonna be on. It's like October 13th or 14th.
Oh, okay.
It'll be on the cock.
But, yeah, it's coming to the cock. Michael's on that cock. Mid next month, a little bit right at a month from now. So we'll find out then. We will both, I'm sure, have reviews of it, and we may even, I'm sure we'll talk about it here at some point as well. But so look forward to that. Let us know in the comments below if you're a Halloween fan, which you probably are, and what you thought about Kills, and also what you think about Ends. Do you think it's going to be good? Does Evil die tonight? I hope so. Just
Evil
let us know in the
bodyguards
comments below what
tonight.
you guys think. Okay, so The People's Joker.
I've heard about this, but continue. Yeah.
That's the only way I can bring this thing in, okay? For those of you that don't know, which is probably quite a few of you because this just happened overnight, The People's Joker is a movie, loosely. I'm going to use that term loosely. It's a movie at TIFF, Toronto International Film Festival. Let me just give you some facts about it. The Toronto International Film Festival, TIFF, big film festival is going on. Actually, it's ended but it was going on last week or this past week. So The People's Joker stars Vera Drew as the title character, also the director, by the way, and tells the story of a clown who struggles with making people laugh. This leads to them to get addicted to an inhalant called Smilex. You've heard of that before, probably. While questioning their talent, identity, and relationships, this Joker decides to open an illegal comedy theater in Gotham City. So yes, it's that Joker, that Gotham, and that Smilex, which I think Smilex was in the Tim Burton Batman movie. It's part of
I think so. Yeah.
all DC stuff. Okay, so back to the real world real quick. After having a single screening at this year's Toronto International Film Festival, the comedy film The People's Joker was pulled from the event's programming. Director-actor Vera Drew had this to say. The eve of our premiere, a media conglomerate that shall remain nameless sent me an angry letter, misreported as a cease and desist, pressuring us not to screen. Any other film festival would have pulled us immediately, but after being fully transparent with TIFF, we agreed to premiere as planned while scaling back our later screenings to mitigate potential blowback. It was disappointing, especially since I went to great lengths with legal counsel to have it fall under parody/fair use. But I made this choice to protect our film's future and to protect our new friends at TIFF, who have been some of The People's Joker's biggest advocates. The People's Joker will screen again very soon at several other festivals worldwide. We are humbly seeking a distribution partner who believes in what we are doing, will protect us, and will eventually help us make this film accessible to the trans people and their families everywhere. Free The People's Joker. Okay, people, what this is essentially, these people made a fucking fan film, all right? They made a movie using established characters, Batman, Gotham City, the Joker, Harley Quinn, Penguin. All these characters show up in this movie in some way or form. It's an established, this is owned. People, Warner Brothers, DC, they own these properties. They're very well-known characters that are owned. It's not fair use. You can't take other people's owned IP and just do what the fuck you want with it and be like, well, it's parody. It's no, it's parody is like The Boys having Homelander, who is clearly Superman. That's parody. I mean, it's not total parody, but that's what that would be like a homage. That would be Brightburn being pretty much Clark Kent Superman as a kid, but it's not using that character. It's not using the fucking names. It's not using their IP. Yeah, it's very similar, and people look at that movie and go, oh, this is if Superman went bad as a kid. That would be parody or fair use. This is not fair use. This is just you taking someone else's IP to elevate your film. If you want to tell the story,
at TIFF?
This
premiered at TIFF?
Yeah, it had one screening at TIFF, and TIFF allowed it. And
wait,
Warner Brothers sent a letter saying, stop. It wasn't an official cease and desist, but they did send something out saying stop. This is a bunch of things. This is that. It's taking their property and doing what you want with it, and you could say defaming it, depending on how you look at it. Now, another thing about this movie is that it is made, and I'm not going to harp on this too much, or talk about it, rather not harp. It is Vera Drew is a trans person, and the movie deals with trans issues and the trans community. It deals with trans things a lot. The Joker in this is a trans individual, so it's a trans movie. I don't like saying it. It's like saying it's a gay movie or it's a black movie. It's a white. It's a movie, but it is heavily steeped in that. Fine, I don't care. Whatever. I'm not saying people shouldn't have their own movies, but you can't take someone else's creation that is copywritten and very well known, copywritten and owned, and just do whatever you want. Even take all the trans stuff out of it, even if it wasn't that. It's just whatever. You just made a fucking fan film. You can't do that and put it out there for people to buy. You can put it on YouTube. Put it on YouTube all day and make a fan film. Fine, go for it. But you can't do that. If you wanted to tell this story, just tell the fucking story and take all those names and everything out of it. That would be paying homage or parodying something.
Yeah.
But no, you put those names in. And the reason you fucking did it and are trying to go this fair use parody route is for publicity. That's why. I mean, I'm not saying this Vera Drew didn't have like a love of these characters and want to do this. Sure, probably. Hey, I want to tell this different take and all that, but it's not yours to tell. You want to go to Warner Brothers, DC, and say, hey, I have this, I want to tell the story. What do you guys think? And either pay them or they pay you to buy that. Sure, go for it. But you have to ask the people that own it. People can't people can't just come and take your shit and do whatever they want with it and then say, well, it's parody, it's fair use, or it's mine now. Now, I mean, there's been like, I think more people out there are understanding and saying, from what I've read, they're like, yeah, this is obviously, you can't just do that. That's not okay. And put it out there for people to purchase. They're trying to find a distributor so they can make money off of this. You can't do that, but there are some people out there that are saying you should release, they even have a hashtag, Free the People's Joker. You should release this movie. It's a powerful movie and all this and that. Now, on the flip side, or to add to that, I do want to say there are very few reviews of the movie out there because it's only been screened one time. The one official review that I did read didn't say good things. Now, unfortunately, the review talks more about this whole debacle, about them trying to get the movie out there and how it's not an official movie or it wants to be an official movie. It didn't have anything to do with the movie. But what they did have to say about the movie was like, oh, it's definitely low budget. It's pretty cheap. Most of the scenes are on green screens and blue screens with CG backgrounds that were made on somebody's computer. Acting's not good. The story's convoluted, plot holes, and all over the place. And it seems like a fan film. And not even like a super good fan film. I have not seen this movie. I cannot say. I'm going off of what other people have said who have seen it. If I was, and they're saying that it's a movie that represents trans people and all that. I'm not trans. I admit that. But if I was, I would want something better that was representing me. I wouldn't want to just say yes to something just because. Oh, it's a movie about trans people. I automatically like it. No, don't do that. Demand more and demand something that's not stealing IP. What's your take on this, Nick? What do you think?
I don't know. I'm of two minds. Like I said, when I do a trailer reacts for a Universal trailer or something like that, and they hit me with a copyright claim, it pissed me off a little bit. But I mean, I've seen fan films, and especially in Star Wars, going to some conventions that are selling the trail or selling their movies to people. I don't know. It's weird that I premiered at TIFF. Like I said, I didn't know much about this. I knew that I knew there was something going on, but I didn't know what it was. But
Well, they were
I don't
supposed to
think
have
I'm- I
more
don't-
screenings, but they cut them out. They only
Yeah.
did the one single screening.
I don't know if I'm as staunch as you are about it, but it's a weird kind of game to play, especially when you're making a whole film and you're premiering at TIFF to get picked up by a company or something like that. And it's like when Escape from Tomorrow came out, like I don't know, like a decade ago, and it was about a guy that was shooting all around Disney property to make a horror film, and it's just like you're using like characters from Disney, and it felt really weird and kind of gross. But I don't know. I is there even a trailer out for this?
Yes,
There is a trailer.
there
Okay,
is,
maybe
and
I'll
I
check
can
the
say
trailer
that
out,
the
see-
trailer does not look good. Now, once again,
Oh yeah, it's probably.
I've not
yeah.
seen this movie. It could be great, but that's not even the point.
But how
And-
did it get a TIFF? TIFF, I don't think something like that would ever.
Well,
premiere.
they put it in there and said, well, it's parody and fair use, because it is very. I mean, there are differences, but it is straight up using characters we know. Like it is featuring the Penguin is in it. Batman, he's either in it or referenced a lot. Batman's in it. Poison Ivy, maybe. Joker, obviously in it. Now this Joker is apparently a mix between Joker and Harley Quinn, but it is still references those names, Joker and It's called the People's fucking Joker. I mean, it's got characters. Gotham City. It takes place in Gotham City, and it is the Batman Gotham City. DC's there. That's my issue with it. Not what the movie's about, what's in it, if it has any message. None. I don't care. None of that matters. That's whatever. You do you. Even if the movie's great or if it's shit, I don't even care about that. But I gotta say, I mean, yeah,
This
and I'm
looks
with you.
cheap.
I've been
I'm
copyright.
watching the trailer as you're talking. This looks cheap as fuck.
I
really
does.
don't know. Yeah.
The copyright thing, I've been like you. I've been hit with those copyright claims on trailers when I'm like, I'm promoting your movie right now. I mean, I'm just watching your publicly available trailer and making comment about it. And most of the time, they release them. It gets put out there. I get it. It's just part of the game. But at the end of the day, if they decide when I do when I use their copywritten material, their IP, and they say, no, this is ours, we will not release it, you can't use it without our say so, I have no leg to stand on. I mean, I can ask. I can say, well, I did it because of this. I feel as if this was me reacting, fair use, etc., etc. I do that a lot. I have to do that pretty much anytime there's a trailer reaction, and sometimes even in reviews with just showing some stuff. I have to do that. Mostly, okay, it's fine. Now I'm doing a fucking review or reaction. I'm not doing a movie. I'm not taking their characters, their IP, and doing something with it. This one, but when they say no, it's just like, okay, it is what it is. They still let me show it. I just can't monetize it. And I have no leg
Yeah.
to stand on, and I'm like, all right, that's their right. It's theirs. But here, though, no, I don't. I think that this isn't. No, that they're saying things like, I poured 2 years of my life into this, and da 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 da. Yeah, but you knew. How do you knew? You knew this was intellectual property. It's owned by someone. You can't just do that. I mean, that's
Well, that's always been my big thing about. I love that people do fan films. I think it's one of the most creative things on the market. The thing that always cracks me up is if you're that talented and you have that much drive, why don't you create your own thing? Why don't you make a film that's inspired by the Joker or Harley Quinn? Like people are. And I'm not discounting people that do fan projects for like Mario and stuff like that, because some of these companies are too lazy to do their shit sometimes. But I feel like they're putting so much effort into fan projects than they are putting into effort into like original stuff that they create. That it almost feels lazy in attempts. Like, I'm not saying this person Vera Drew is lazy. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying And maybe put your efforts into something that feels original to you. Like this isn't original. He or she, whoever this is taking a property like Harley Quinn and Joker, and just kind of doing amalgamation of it, like adding Mister Freeze and Penguin. Like I get it. You love these characters. You're doing a character that feels close and personal to you as a property, but it's like, I want to go and do, I don't know, the Journeyman project or my own version of the Quantum Leap or something like that, or the Simpsons. I mean, it makes more sense of coming up with something that I'm inspired by. Let's say I love, Batman. Make something inspired by Batman. That's, some of the best films are inspired by other properties. And
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. I don't hate the person for doing this, but it's
No.
weird that it premiered at fucking TIFF. Like, what was TIFF thinking?
Well, that's what they got in on that, and the movie, because of all this, was getting a lot of press. It's getting tons of press because they had the balls to do it. Now, here's the kicker to all that. To some of the things you said. Why people make fan films? I know why they make them, and I get it. They make them first and foremost because they have a love of this property that they don't own, and they go into it knowing, I'm doing this as just a passion project. I think that most people that are interested in getting into film and aren't just doing it because they have a love of it, the people that are interested in film and becoming filmmakers make these fan projects because they know that if I just make my own thing, nobody's going to see it. It's going to get buried. If I make a Star Wars fan film or a Batman fan film or something like that, that name carries weight. I may not get anything for this. It may just be kind of like, I'm putting it out there, but I might get that recognition, and maybe the right people will see it and say, that guy or girl has something going on. Let's bring them on to do something, either with this property or their own thing. They have talent. So I get why they do fan films from that perspective. Some people, I think, just do it because they have a love of it. And they love filmmaking, and they're like, hey, I just have a love of these characters, and I want to do it. But the ones that want to get a start, that's what they're using it for. You can look at...
Yeah, I was gonna say you can look at. I'm just gonna throw this out there. You can look at Dan Trachtenberg, who directed Prey. He started out, and it's like one of his first things he ever did was a Portal short on YouTube. And so I get it. I get the love. People love these things, and I have absolutely no problem with them making something. But it's just like, I just feel that the creative endeavor is more focused on our love for something that's already been created than something that hasn't. And that's just my personal opinion.
I also usually do shorts.
Like they don't do full length. Yeah.
The Shell Porter Portal movie, that was awesome, by the way. That's a great one.
Yeah.
But like the guys who made the Star Wars short back in like 2000, Duality, about the two Sith guys fighting, it was awesome. And one or both
Power Rangers as well.
They got jobs based on that. They were like, oh, okay, you're doing some good shit. Let's pick you up. So it worked out for them. It didn't work out for everybody, but that's the dream. Now, Vera Drew is already in the business.
Yeah.
Is already in the filmmaking business, has been involved in nothing like groundbreaking, but knows this business. This isn't somebody who's just like, oh, I didn't know. I was ignorant to it all. No. Vera Drew, I don't have it in front of me, but has been involved with projects and knows how the business works. And went into this knowing, we're not supposed to do this, but they're using this. I feel like they're using this as publicity. The publicity, they're building upon that. And I think that they're hoping that publicity will help them steamroll through and get this movie out there somehow. And I don't think it is, because you're dealing with fucking Warner Brothers and DC, David Zaslav. They're not going to let this thing get put out there. And I don't think it is so like just straight up ripping off their intellectual property. No court's going to allow that either. They're not going to allow this.
Right.
I mean, they could throw it up on YouTube, I guess. But they're not going to do it and legally get paid for this. Who knows? Maybe. I don't think so. It doesn't seem like it. But I don't know. I haven't seen the movie. It could be fantastic. It doesn't look like it, admittedly. I don't really give a shit who makes movies about what. But at the same time, I understand that there's no way in hell you thought this was going to be okay.
Yeah.
There's no way. It is someone else's property, and you can't do that. It just is what it is. But let us know in the comments below what you think of The People's Joker. And have you seen it? Is it great? Is it shit? Do you think that Warner Brothers and DC Comics should allow its release? Or do you think that they are totally within their rights, which, you know, by law they are, to say, hey, stop. Don't do that's ours. You can't do that. So just let us know in the comments below what you guys think. Alrighty then. Moving on to our final two stories of the day. Okay, so I have gone how many shows? 20 shows now. 20 episodes of this show. I think I may have said something about it once or twice, but not specifically talking about it. I've gone all this time not talking about this thing that was actually in the middle of it going on when I started this show 10 weeks ago now, I guess it would be, with 20 shows twice a week. This thing, I purposely was like, I just don't want to talk about it. Well, now I'm going to talk about it, but not in the way that you may think. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. I almost talked about it once, but I didn't. We are going to talk about it, but we're not going to talk about the trial. We're not going to talk about Johnny Depp, and we're not going to talk about Amber Heard. What we are going to talk about is Hot Take. The Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial movie is coming soon, and a lot sooner than you think. A film about the recent Johnny Depp Amber Heard defamation trial is to be rushed released on the Tubi streaming service. Hot Take, the Depp Heard trial, that's the name, will dramatize events around the legal action that played out over 6 weeks earlier this year and will follow the tumultuous relationship between the pair. Hot Take stars Mark Hapka as Depp and Megan Davis as Heard and is directed by Sarah Lohman. Tubi will show the film free from September 30th in countries where it operates, which include the US, Australia, and New Zealand. It will not be available in the UK or the EU, unless you get a VPN. So, Nick, what do you think of this? Are you looking forward to Hot Take, the Depp Heard trial?
I'm surprised this isn't a Lifetime movie. I really am. Like,
I mean, it's a Tubi movie. It's not that far off.
No. I am so sick of this story to begin with. Like, it's two actors, and it's an actor and actress who did weird shit to each other. They apparently didn't like it. Amber Heard is the weirder of the two, which is really weird to say about Johnny Depp. And I don't care. I don't want to. Who are they gonna have? Like, I don't know, Kirsten Stewart and fucking Robert Pattinson as the two main individuals in this movie.
I guess that's the question. Not are you looking forward to this? I guess the question is more, are you surprised?
No, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. I've never been surprised when they do this kind of shit. Like, it's ripe for a adaptation that is cheaply done on the go, and comes out and it's unauthorized biography and shit. No, absolutely not. Yeah, it's gonna come out. You knew it was gonna come out.
Yeah,
it just was only a matter of time. Apparently, not that long. So
I am interested to see. I don't care. I didn't care about that trial. I mean, I got caught up in, like anybody else. I heard stuff about it, and there was some of it I was like, huh, and I saw some of it and heard some of it. I never got real deep into it, but there were some things I listened to. I ain't gonna lie. It was kind of a sensation. It was the OJ of our, well, without the murder, of our our generation, I guess. It's just a huge trial. And I think that there were some things that the trial represented that I was like, I like that, especially like when we talk about equality a lot nowadays. I think that there is a definite, there's a rift between equality when it comes to people of the male persuasion in these types of stories. I think honestly both of them did, I'm not going to get way deep into it, both of them did some fucked up things, but like you mentioned, I think Amber Heard just did more fucked up things. I mean, from what the trial said. So whatever, it was found, they went through legal channels, but we're getting a movie, and I'm not surprised one fucking bit. Do you think this movie will be any good?
Oh, I'm sure it'll be fantastic, Oscar worthy. It'll garner, more money than Avatar. It's going to be the greatest film that will have never been seen or ever talked about a year from now. or
Do
whenever.
you think
a year
many
from whenever
people
it
will
comes out.
see this movie because it's only on Tubi? Do you think many people know what the fuck Tubi is?
Is Tubi that stuff that comes out of your anus when you're sick or something like that?
I think
Is
you
that
have
what
more
Tubi
people that
is?
think that than know what the hell Tubi is.
No, yeah, I know. Yeah, Tubi is
We
one of
know.
those things I don't watch. I don't watch Tubi. I have no.
We have
I couldn't
YouTube
tell you
channels
anything
that
on
are
Tubi.
based around movies. Of course, we know what Tubi is, but
Yeah.
a lot of other people are like, "What is that? Like YouTube? Part of YouTube?"
No,
Yeah.
this probably popped up on like TMZ or something like that, and that's like the biggest story pop that's gonna get, until Johnny Depp sues him or some shit.
I'm curious. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just curious. Like I said about the other movie we talked about a few minutes ago, the Bring It On movie. I'll give it 10 minutes. I'm curious to see because I mean September 30th. It's like 2 weeks away, and so I'm going to give it 10 minutes just to see if nothing else. How bad is it? Who knows? It might be awesome. It might be amazing. We might turn it on and it's like, holy shit, this is a fantastic movie. I doubt it, but it might be. Who knows? I wonder. It's a dramatization, so God knows what they're gonna give us. I'm just.
If Pauly Shore's in it, I'll be right there. I'll watch it.
If nothing else, I'm interested to see the actor. Like, how big are they going to go with these performances? Like, the guy who plays Johnny Depp, is he just the whole time going to be like, like Ozzy Osbourne? And the
Get
woman
the
who
guy
plays
from Tim and Eric's $1 billion movie. That's who should play him.
the woman who plays Amber Heard, is she just going to be like the whole time? And like, that's what I need. Out of this movie. I need it
There's
to
actually
be-
no dialogue. It's just them going.
Yeah. That's what the whole movie needs to be. Just that, back and forth.
God.
Oscar winner. I just found the beginning of this video, by the way. I need that in my life. That's what I want this movie to be. I mean, it's on fucking Tubi. Just do it. Just do it.
And next
But-
week, exclusive review of whatever this movie is. Hot take.
Yeah, hot take. The Depp Heard trial. I'm at least gonna give it a shot. If it is at least bearable, I'll watch the whole thing and talk about it. But we'll see. We'll see if I can make it through it. I've watched some shit, so I probably can. But that's all there really is to it. It's coming. I mean, I don't think anybody's surprised that the Johnny Depp Amber Heard movie is coming. Just how soon it's coming, I think, is they clearly rushed this. That's the other thing I want to see. They rushed this so damn fast. I'm also like, how good could it possibly be? Since they rushed it so fast, and knowing how long it takes to make a movie, this is probably going to be like that other movie we were talking about a minute ago. It's going to look terrible. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out, though. But the Johnny Depp, hot take, the Johnny Depp Amber Heard movie is coming. Let us know in the comments below if you're interested in it, if you're looking forward to it, and you're going to subscribe. I guess you don't have to subscribe to Tubi. It's just free, right?
Yeah, I'm sure like you'll see it pop up in your feed now that we've talked about it.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
join us for Hot Take next week.
it's coming soon, and I'm going to attempt to watch it. So let us know what you think of Hot Take in the comments below. Give us your hot take about Hot Take. Oh, excuse me. All right, last story of the day. And we're going to talk we're going to go out on some video game news. And this one, it's who is it? It's Sony and Microsoft again.
Imagine that.
The only reason I'm talking, because we have actually talked, this is a continuation of a story that we talked about a few weeks ago. Kind of. There's another piece added to it, and that's really the main thing I want to talk about. This has to do with the CMA, which is the UK's Competition and Markets Authority. And a few weeks ago, you may have remembered that they said, while Microsoft is trying to push this Activision Blizzard deal through, all these regulatory bodies are coming and they have to give their approval and say, yes, okay, yeah, you can do this. It's not going to harm anything, be a monopoly or whatever. Well, the CMA, which is kind of like the FTC, I think, over in the UK, they said, hey, we might actually possibly see there could be a problem. We see some things, we got questions. And they gave Microsoft and Activision, I think it was 5 days to say something, to say, hey, defend yourself. Well, Microsoft come in with that big dick energy apparently and was just like, nope. They just didn't respond. They were like, we're not responding to this. They don't, because they feel that confident in it. And I've said that all along. I think that they knew going into this deal before they even announced it. They're like, this is happening. And I do think it's going to happen. But this is also expected. The CMA is just doing their job. That's what they do. Just because they say, hey, this is a thing, we want to talk about it, we want to explore it, doesn't mean it really is. It just means it's been brought up. And a lot of that's been from Sony, because Sony's been like all over this shit with them. Like, please, no, don't let this happen. I mean, they've been looking bad at this. That's not me just talking shit. They've been coming out talking all kinds of shit. And they're going to fuck themselves, by the way. Now, real quick, let me throw out a little bit of info. Microsoft, and a lot of it revolves around Call of Duty. They're afraid that Microsoft's going to come in and say, no more Call of Duty for you. And that would be detrimental. At this point right now, that would hurt. That'd be like, oh, shit. That would get people to leave that side and come over to this side. Well, whatever. Say what you will about Call of Duty. It would. It just would. It would get people, or at least to go over to the other side and have both. They would lose market share immensely. Now, Microsoft sent over a thing saying, hey, guys, we are going to commit to you that we are going to leave it on Call of Duty on your platform for an amount of time past the deal. We're going to, do you a solid. And they don't have to do that. Let's just be real. They're paying $70 billion for something. Fuck off. I'll do what I want, But they're trying to be, I think they're just trying to say, hey, professional courtesy. We're not going to just yank the rug from underneath you. It sounds like they're saying, we're going to give you a few years to figure out what you're going to do. But yeah, there's a good chance that eventually this is coming over. Well, Sony came out and said more or less, that's unacceptable. Unacceptable that they're doing that. It is not, that is undermining us and our consumers and da. We're going to talk about that in a minute too, about what is and isn't unacceptable. But they said that. Now that's where we and the CMA said that if you don't respond in this amount of time, we are going to go to phase 2 of our investigation and start looking into these things more. That's where we left off the last story. Now, since Microsoft is kind of like, nope, not doing it, they have begun their phase 2, which is just looking into these issues. It doesn't mean, oh, that's it, the deal's done. No, they're just going to look into them. Well, all right, so UK's Competition and Markets Authority, CMA, has announced it will further investigate Microsoft's proposal bid to buy Activision Blizzard. Expected. A spokesperson, based on that announcement, and this is where things get dirty, a spokesperson for Sony said that it welcomes the announcement of further scrutiny by the UK government into Microsoft's deal. The company said, should Microsoft be allowed to buy Activision Blizzard, the deal would have major negative implications for gamers and the future of the gaming industry. Now, this is all about exclusivity, by the way. Sony added, we want to guarantee PlayStation gamers continue to have the highest quality gaming experience, and we appreciate the CMA's focus on protecting gamers. The CMA's investigation has reached phase 2. An independent panel of experts will look into the concerns and help make a decision about whether or not the deal should be approved. They have a date. I don't have it here in front of me. There is an actual date, though, an end date that, hey, a decision has to be reached by this time. Also, I mentioned last a few weeks when we talked about this, even if they come to the conclusion that, yes, there is an issue, we don't agree with this, that doesn't mean the deal doesn't go through. That just means that Microsoft has to come in and say, okay, well, let's fight it out. All right, here's my problem with this, and it appears to be a lot of people's problem. At the end of the day, I don't mind if the CMA's looking into this. They're doing their job. That's fine. Microsoft clearly expected it. That's what they do. Who in the fuck does Sony think they are? Coming here talking this bullshit about we welcome this and good on you. They shouldn't be able to do this. It's for our consumers. We want to guarantee PlayStation gamers continue to have the highest quality games, and it would be detrimental or major negative implications if they make this exclusive. These motherfuckers, the kings of coming in and making shit exclusive, they pride their fucking bread and butter over there is taking things. Some things haven't been on other consoles, like new things, but taking established properties and saying nobody else can have them but us. They're all ours, exclusive. And they're going to sit here and talk shit about another company saying, well, no, we're making shit exclusive. And they want to whine like a bunch of little bitches about it and then make the shit public. Go out there and start throwing shit out there. I'll tell you what. I may be a vindictive bastard. I'm sure I am. I doubt Microsoft will do this because they know what they're doing. They will make that fucking game exclusive eventually. But after this bullshit, because Sony keeps on every day talking shit. Jim Ryan, their head and everything, he out there talking all this shit. If I was Microsoft at this point, if and when this deal finally goes through and they keep on talking all this bullshit and just making life a little bit more difficult than it needs to be, that's when I'd come up, I'd be like, hey, you know that deal that we talked about? Fuck off. After this one that you get this year, you get no more. I mean, they need to just come in hardball and be like, that's what the fuck you get. You should have shut your fucking mouth. We gave you more than you would have ever given us. Because if you think that Sony had the amount of money or if they could acquire Call of Duty, that motherfucker would never see the light of day on anything ever again. And now they want to bitch because another company has the means to do it and is doing it. Regardless of what you think of that company, regardless of if you think, oh, they're buying things, they're not making their own, whatever, none of that matters. It's the hypocrisy between that PlayStation keeps doing. And this is not me going on some pro Xbox rant. This is me just saying it's hypocrisy. It's bullshit. You preach fucking exclusive all the time and talk about how dare someone else be exclusive as you're shelling out money for something to be fucking exclusive. They just had a show where they have games that are from third parties, which is what Activision is, that are exclusive only to their console because they paid them. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 comes out this year. That is this year's version. As they're saying this, we get the announcement about the PlayStation exclusive content for Call of Duty this year that will only be on their platform. But then they're talking about, how dare you make something exclusive over there? What the fuck? Am I the only one who's thinking this? Am I crazy? What are your thoughts? I know I ranted a little bit there.
No, the whole video game landscape is a fuck fest. It really is. It's a landscape of a lot of whiny assholes who have a lot of money, who are trying to keep people from. It's like the whole Avengers game that came out and only Sony had Spider-Man access. It's like, it's so dumb. The whole fucking video game landscape is so dumb. It's like we talked earlier about the PSVR 2. It's like, it's so dumb. Oh my god, it's so annoying. I hate fucking video games sometimes.
The company's definitely, and I mean, I'm not sitting here painting. Microsoft is a multi-billion-dollar company too. They care about that green like everybody else. But goddamn, they have at least done some more pro-consumer moves. Look at Minecraft. It's old as fuck, but people still play the shit out of that game. You want to know why you're playing it on a PlayStation? Because of them. They own that. They own Minecraft. They didn't have to allow it to keep on being on PlayStation. There's been at least one or two other games. When they bought Bethesda, all those games, yeah, Bethesda had deals with them. They could have come in and broke them. They could have come in and been like, nope, you don't get them. We own them now. Yep. And what? They would have been like, oh, we're going to fine you. It's fucking Microsoft. They would have been like, all right, here you go. They don't give a fuck. I mean, they don't have to give a fuck, I'll say. But no, they stayed true to those deals. They are not out there shit-talking the competition like that. But then fucking PlayStation, or Jim Ryan and some of his people, as soon as some competition actually starts showing up, they start like bitching, moaning, and shit-talking just like their fucking toxic fan base. What the fuck? Get out of here with that shit. Yeah, and people are not liking this, by the way. Even their fans are kind of like, this is bad luck. This is another bad look for you guys. What are you doing? But that's the story. I know I got a little worked up there because I really hate hypocrisy like that when people just that is so in your face. Just no exclusives. That's not fair. By the way, here's our exclusive this year for it. You know what I mean? What the fuck? Get the fuck out of here. This is all for naught too. Microsoft is going to own that motherfucking company this time next year. I will delete this video if something happens and they don't. But they are. I mean, I am willing to bet money that they will own Activision Blizzard this time next year. And
I don't know, man. I don't know if it's ever going to happen.
they already said they don't plan on it going through until summer of 2023. They said that from the beginning. A big deal like this, they had said, and now some things happened where they were like, hey, it might happen a little bit earlier, but they always said, we expect this deal to go through summer of 2023, around about in that area. So, I mean, CMA has to make it, I want to say it's by February something, a determination overall has to be made. They have to say yay or nay by then. They may do it before, but that's when their deadline is. I may be wrong on that date, but there is a date that is either right before or right after the beginning of the year. So, I mean, then after that, it's just the FTC. And the FTC may come along in between now and then and be like, here's what we think. But they're going to get that. Microsoft's a big-ass American company. That's politics right there. The FTC, they're going to okay it. They will own this fucking company. You best believe that. You got that much goddamn money.
So, yeah. They have the clout too.
Yeah, and the unfortunate truth there is me coming from someone, and this isn't because I hate PlayStation, I love Microsoft, or vice versa. As a emotional human being, since they've been throwing all this, as they say, shade and talking all this shit here recently, don't let me run that motherfucking company, because I'd be like, fuck you to the moon on everything now. You don't get shit. Fuck all deals. I don't give a fuck what we said. We're playing hardball now. But I know they will. They'll stay to that fucking deal because I don't know why. I mean, I guess they want to be the good guys, but they're gonna stay on that deal and let them have it for at least a few years. But then they're gonna take it, and it'll probably be the beginning of next generation. Honestly, Sony will have I would bet that they'll have Call of Duty for the rest of this generation. Next generation, I bet when the new whatever Xbox and PlayStation comes out, whatever year that is, 2028 or something, that's when all of a sudden, by the way, exclusive. I don't know. We'll see if Call of Duty survives that long. I mean, it's gone this long. But yeah, you got anything else you want to add to that?
It's just more bickering and idiocracy.
Bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
Bunch of bullshit that means fuck all nothing, because in the end, it's a bunch of drama over nothing, because it is more or less inevitable, like Thanos said. Alrighty, ladies and gents. We went a few minutes over, but that's the end of the show. That's all I got. Like I said, no reviews, no trailer reactions, anything like that. Just a whole bunch of stories, little and big. Hope you guys enjoyed what we had to talk about. I know I got a little bit passionate about a few things there. It's honestly, I'm not as passionate about what's being said and reported. I'm sick and fucking tired of hearing the same shit, and I just want it to be over with when it comes to that particular story there and some other things. But that's what we got. How do you guys feel about any of those stories? I hope you guys enjoyed. Let us know in the comments below about your takes on Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, People's Joker, Halloween Ends, Blade Runner 99. Bring it on. I'm actually interested in that one. The Gran Turismo movie and all the other little things we talked about as well. Check out our next show that will be this Wednesday at 2 o'clock Central Time, whatever time that is, wherever you live. I do plan on us having some form of review or something at that point. And also the following Saturday, I plan on having another review as well of an older film that we'll be doing there. Either me and Nick and someone, or me and someone, one or the other. There will be another one. I have some reviews coming to my channel, independent reviews, this week as well. And I have... Shit, it's over there. That Dreamcast that I did the Ultimate Dreamcast I did the stream of is fixed and working now. I actually have somewhere here on my mess of a desk. Nick's seen it. Don't tell people about my messy desk, Nick. But I have a SD card with all of my Dreamcast games loaded on it. That's all I need. I have used it, but unfortunately the SD card I had was a little bit small. I had to order another one to fit everything on there. After I get that on Monday, I'm going to transfer over the files and put the other files on there. That project will be done, and I'll put up a video or a stream at some point, just kind of fucking around with that and showing that off. Sometime this week, probably. It won't be a super long one. It'll just be kind of exploring that and showing off hey, it does actually work, because I know on the stream I had last time, it's like, well, won't power on. Fix that problem. Yeah, there's that. beyond that, check out the show next week. Also, check out the Fifth Dimension Twilight Zone podcast every Monday. And,
Yep.
oh yeah, Patreon, memberships, subscribe, like, all that kind of stuff. Nick, do your spiel
Yes.
and tell us what you got going over at the Pleasure Emporium.
Oh, I got so many sites, so many wonderful sites. We will bring you all the pleasures of the Emporium. Movie Emporium on Twitter, YouTube. I just recently put up a video for Moon Age Daydream, the David Bowie film, as well as the Woman King. They say I believe I'm still, unless I'm really tired, I will be seeing Don't Worry, Darling. I'm sure something else next week. I can't remember at this point, but right now I have a few videos. Like I said, we'll have a new episode of the Fifth Dimension where we talk the whole truth and nothing but the gremlin truth. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Twitter and YouTube and Cups of Uranus. Yeah.
So, The Woman King, we hadn't really, I
Yeah.
know you've seen it, but we hadn't really talked about it. Did you like it? I haven't seen
I
it.
did like it. I am tired of people bitching about the possible fact that it's not as authentically true as what they're saying, but
Yeah,
I don't give
it's
a
a
shit.
movie.
It's a good movie.
Yeah. That's how I look at things like that.
This isn't Schindler's List, people.
Sure, if you want to talk about the authenticity of a based on a true story movie, yeah, that's one conversation. But at the end of the day, was the movie entertaining? If you had a good look at it, or if you had a good time with it. My understanding on that is no, it's not completely historically accurate. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, was the movie good though? Because if the movie's good, I can look at it and just say, okay, maybe it's not totally based on a true story. Doesn't change the fact that it was a fun movie. That's what matters to me. But I'll see it eventually. Good to hear that it was good though. I like Viola
Yeah.
Davis. I know she's the headliner there. So, alrighty, ladies and gents, thanks for hanging out. Fright Films, Antonio, Magical. I see you came in there after a while too. Caden was here earlier, and some other people dropped in and out. I appreciate you guys all coming and hanging out. CD Gaming, I think you're new. Hello, probably not here still, but I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Tell all your friends so they'll come and check out the other shows that we have throughout the week, every Wednesday and Saturday. And like I said, the next episode will be on this Wednesday at 2 o'clock Central Time. Come check it out. And with that, we're out of here. Bye!